You are tuned in to G5 Jeff TV. Come get some of this good boxing talk on a Thursday. It's going down as you can see. I got my main man with me, my right hand, VP Shane. What's going on, bro?
What's good, man? I'm here.
Hey, man, when I say this gonna be a crazy day, a crazy 24 to 48 hours, man. Matter of fact, 72 hours, man. It's gonna be absolutely insane, man. So we excited. But for this live, uh, Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder has been rescheduled for October 9th. And we got some things to discuss. We got some things to talk about.
What I want
Um,
to know, bro, is how they reschedule a fight when the dude still supposedly has COVID. It doesn't make sense to me. It's so stupid. Like, how do they know how fast he's gonna recover? This guy might recover. Like, some people have COVID for months. Like, not saying he will have COVID
people
for months, but
people
some
have
people have
died from it.
COVID for months.
People have died from it. I
So how
mean,
the hell do they know if this guy's if this is how you know this is so shady, bro? How can they reschedule a fight while the dude supposedly still has COVID? That makes no sense, bro. Like,
bro, it this situation is so crazy, man. Like, and it's like you get news and you want to believe it, but as our good friend BoxingFirst Vlog always says, he's like, I you just gotta add simple logic to situations and you'll figure out the answers. And yeah, nothing about this situation says he has COVID. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just, I'm not buying. Like, I'm not buying it. Like,
the
I'm
fact
just,
that Top Rank didn't even wish this guy well, like, hope he gets well
yo,
soon. Bro,
yo, the only person that wished him well was me.
literally,
Like,
I don't, I
literally,
don't, I don't get, I don't get how these guys are. I don't get. I don't. Nobody. This is the thing. Not even the fans believe this dude has COVID.
I put up a post, right? I said, yo, Mike, it's been announced that Fury has COVID-19. I said, if he has COVID-19, I said, I hope he gets well. I said, if he doesn't, he needs to fight on the 24th of July and get this thing over with. Like, I'm about to start calling him Mr. Shenanigans along with BoxingFirst Vlog. You know, that's his name for Fury, Mr. Shenanigans. I'm about to that's what I'm about to call him, man. But we got my guy Bruce Goals is in the building. Says salute G5 and Shane. Big shout out to you, Bruce Goals. KD Ortiz. Uh what's going on with you, good brother? He said how they keep talking the fight. Bro, listen, I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, it's until Fury and Wilder fight, the YouTube channels is gonna be popping. You could literally go live every single day about Fury and Wilder, and you're gonna average a couple hundred. Like,
Yeah,
that's just what it is, man. Like, people can't stand Fury, people can't stand Wilder, but it's the hottest topic in the sport, man. And it's overshadowing Shane and I's favorite fight of the year. But that's neither here nor there. Um, we got Rocky Rodriguez in the building. He says, salute, gentlemen. Rocky Rodriguez, salute to you, good brother.
stay in the
Um,
building to the end, bro. Stay in the building to the end.
yeah, stay in the building to the end, man, because we got a major announcement that we are gonna give out at the end of this show. But yeah, man, like, it's crazy with the Fury situation because Shane, was I not getting ready to cop my tickets
But
in my room and all that?
this is the truth. Jeff was gonna go out for the fight, but at the same time, Jeff said he don't feel the fight's gonna happen. So I
Exactly.
don't understand.
Yo, I was just like, yo, I said there's a certain amount of time that has to pass before nobody can bail out of the fight. I was like a week and a half before the fight, nobody can bail out. The reason I know that is because what happened with Jesse Hart against Joe Smith. Jesse Hart got hurt the week of the fight. They wanted to bail out. He couldn't bail out because they
But
had
look,
too much money involved.
but look at Andre and Jamal Charlo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just like I wasn't comfortable copping no tickets or getting no rooms or nothing like that until like a week before the fight. And
Yeah, Jeff, I don't know, maybe deep down, Jeff just didn't feel like the fight was gonna happen. At least on July the 24th. Because
I didn't think so. That's why I didn't get the tickets. And
that's
you
when
know
he
what,
told me not to pay Blaze.
Shane, Blaze Philly 215 has to show up. Blaze Philly 215 has to show up, man. He owes me a damn apology. That's for damn sure. Cause
Yeah,
yeah, he was, for the people that don't know, he was pressing for this $500, talking about something, the fight gonna happen. And I said, bro, nobody's getting paid until after they step in the ring. I got a funny feeling some shit gonna happen. And that's what happened. I've heard from Blaze Philly 215 off camera, mind you, and his birthday just passed. Big shout out to the big bro. But Blaze Philly 215 has not shown up on this screen since this fight got canceled. I have not seen him on the screen. So Blaze Philly 215, if you're listening, brother, we need for you to make an appearance. We need for you to make an appearance for sure. Bruce goes, he said Fury does whatever he wants to do and gets away with it. Bruce goes, I like Fury inside of the ring, bro. Like, as a fighter, I like what he brings to the table. But when you consistently have controversy swirling around you, people can't get mad when you bring up the controversy that's around the person.
the first
Can't.
time he got out of a rematch clause. Look at with the Klitschko's. Remember, he had a rematch to fight Vladimir, and he used the whole mental health, drugs scandal, whatever happened, and he ended up not having to fight Klitschko. And then Klitschko ended up fighting AJ and got stopped by AJ. But look at that situation. This ain't the first time he's got out of a rematch clause.
Yo, Tyson Fury, the type that'll run off on the plug.
Bro, you know, I
Said,
feel like some people are also forgetting. After the first Wilder and Fury fight, the WBC ordered him versus Wilder, and he pulled out of that rematch. Do you remember that, Jeff? He pulled out of that rematch after the WBC ordered that. Then he asked to fight Dylan White. The WBC ordered that. He pulled out of that fight as well. Bro, this guy is used to this guy.
Yo, it's what he does, but it makes sense now, because what was we saying before? We was like, they not promoting this fight. They not putting no money into this fight.
This is Top Rank's biggest fight of the year. And let's keep it real. I remember the second fight. I saw that everywhere I walked. I couldn't walk down the street. I couldn't turn on my TV without seeing that fight. Bro, you'd have to remind me what day the fight was on the way they promote this.
Bro, and then October 9th is not even a good date. October 9th is not even a good date.
Remember last time they even promoted it on the Super Bowl? Like they went all in for promotion. This time they didn't even put 10 cents.
Nah, they ain't put no money. They ain't put no money behind this fight. October 9th, they're gonna have to go against college football, the NFL. It's bad, man. Like it's bad.
What you have to understand is, what is that? 2 weeks after AJ Usyk as well, which is not a good thing. Supposedly a week after Canelo. That's not a good. That's not good.
Nothing about this is good. Not from a business standpoint, strategy standpoint, marketing standpoint. And on top of that, he's giving Wilder more time. The worst thing you can do is give a guy that's really going for revenge more time.
You know, part of me, because I'm thinking about it, I actually feel like they just don't want the fight to take place.
I don't think he wants it. Hey Shane, I literally got a phone call. My homie Asmar Wright called me. He's a cruiserweight. He's working with Roy Jones. Big shout out to Asmar Wright too. He called me. He was like, he seen the post that I put up saying we was going live for Fury and Wilder. He was like, who do you like in the fight? And I'm like, yo, I think Wilder's gonna pull it off just off of mentality. Like, I honestly don't think that Fury is like there, and it's weird. I think he's so used to just dealing with controversy that even when he has things to his advantage, he still has to add controversy.
You know what? Yeah, there's two reasons what's making me question this fight. One, because you said this a year ago, I think, after Fury won, which was Tyson Fury has never made a title defense in his entire career. For those who don't know that,
give people the background behind that conversation. Tell them what we was talking about initially.
we were talking about the WBC and who they were backing and like when it came to all the glove gate stuff, and basically Jeff was saying, why would they support a guy who's never made a title defense? And the reason why Jeff was saying it, because Jeff was using foresight, and I don't think anybody used that foresight other than Jeff, which is when you look at it, and now it's coming to fruition. This guy has been champion several times, but he's never made a title defense. He's champion right now, and as we can see, he still hasn't made a title defense. And it's not because he's scared to make a title defense. It's purely and simply because this guy's always got certain stuff going on outside of the ring that's preventing him from doing certain stuff. When you use that logic and you just base it on the fact that for 1 full year, the WBC haven't made any money from sanctioning fees whatsoever. Mm-hmm. They have a ruling in their rule book that a fighter should fight their mandatory every year or every 12 months or whatever. He hasn't done that. He's been ordered to fight Wilder. He also has a mandatory which is contractually obligated to fight Dillian Whyte, or the winner's supposed to fight Dillian Whyte. Mm-hmm. And they're no closer to the fight than they was, let's say, 1 year ago. So when you put all of those ingredients into a pot, bro, you just have to question whether this guy even has the intentions to fight in the first place, and whether this was just not part of the plan. And the reason why I think of that is because maybe Top Rank was looking at it like this. Well, if we don't sell a lot of fights, maybe our Heyman and Wilder won't not sell a lot of fights, sell a lot of tickets. Maybe Wilder and our Heyman will think, you know what, we ain't fighting for 50% of that purse split because the purse is too small, and they just pull out of the fight. For example, let's say their guarantee was 5 million and they're gonna guarantee 40% of the back end, but there's no ticket sales. Where they're gonna pull out of the fight because they're not making any money. They probably realized that the ticket sales are doing better than what they thought. And they thought, you know what, we have to pull out of this fight because we didn't have the intentions to pay this dude in the first place, and that's why we haven't put no money into the promotion. That potentially could have been the case, because you look at it, they put $0, $0, £0, 0 yen into this promotion, and they were probably hoping that the fight don't sell. And now the fight's starting to pick up a bit of momentum. They think, you know what, maybe we need to pull out because of the whole guarantee situation. That could be the case.
Yeah, I think and all of that was well said. I'm gonna get to them comments too because they starting to build up. But the thing is, it went back to like when the whole glove gate and all that came up. It was just like, would the WBC allow that to happen? Would they kind of turn a blind eye? And I was saying no, because I'm like, they make way more money with Wilder than they would with Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury just doesn't. He's never made a title defense in his career. And I'm like, the sanctioning body's main goal is to make sanctioning fees. They can't make sanctioning fees unless guys fight. And that's just what it is. Like, and the only reason they're putting up with Fury, to be completely honest with you, is because if Fury and AJ gets made, do you want to pull out the calculator for the sanctioning fee that they gonna get? Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, so that's the only reason they're putting up with Fury right now. You know what I mean? And that's just, again, simple logic.
Fury with anyone. If you put Wilder in that situation, Wilder's making a big purse. If he fights AJ, you put Dillian Whyte in that situation, and Saudi's gonna put money up for an undisputed fight regardless. Let's keep it real.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Let me get in these comments real quick. Tony's reviews, what's going on, player? Said listening from the sidelines and throwing you a thumbs up. Appreciate it, bro. Conrad Boxing is in the building.
Conrad definitely staying to the end of the live.
Conrad, you definitely stay into the end of the live for sure. He said Fury Wilder fell through. AJ Usyk still not signed. Hunter ducking Herkovich. Instead, we get terribly boring Joseph Parker fights. Yeah, I can't.
Next?
Yeah, who's Joseph Parker fighting next? I don't know. I don't know. He said and Char versus Lovejoy. Didn't they push that back too?
Yeah, I thought they pushed that back.
They pushed that back too, Conrad. Yeah, it is shitty. All of that is shitty. All of it. You know what I mean? But I just yeah, man. I don't know. If I didn't know any better, I would think Fury is the one that lost the second fight. And Fury is the one that didn't arguably win the first fight. The way he's acting, the way he's conducting himself, he's making it seem like he's the one that's had a whole bunch of trouble in both fights. That's how he's acting. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't act like a guy that has been clearly better than his opponent the last two fights.
It did, but let's keep it real. This is the same thing we saw when he fought Klitschko. He won that fight pretty comfortably. And again, he pulled out of that. I don't know what it is.
I don't know either, bro.
The Fury camp itself, just to me, never gave me the impression that either they were confident to make the fight or confident that they were going to win the fight. After I heard what John Fury said about his own son, I just have to think to myself, there's something that's going on that we don't know. And it's a constant trend with Fury now. It's becoming a constant trend. You know, I don't know. When you look at it, you think maybe they didn't even want the AJ fight. And now you look at it and you think maybe they didn't even want the Wilder fight. And I'm like, I don't know what it is about Fury, but nothing is ever straightforward. And it's like a riddle trying to figure out what this guy's plans are and his intention.
Yeah, I honestly think he was trying to hit the AJ fight and just retire, win or lose. I think he really,
like they could have done that if they made big movements from the start, but they didn't.
Yeah, now what I really want to know is what's in the fine print for that arbitration deal. I want to know what the fine print is.
Bro, the problem with that is, Jeff, what you got to look at is, bro, these guys are paying. What the fine print is. Bro, these guys are paying a certain amount of percentage to either fight. I don't know what that percentage is. If our Heyman's not happy with that guarantee or that percentage or let's say the pot is 10 million. Our Heyman ain't going to be happy with that because he knows that fight can generate more, but due to lack of promotion, that fight isn't generating the amount that it can.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know. Nobody's talked about the upfront money for these two. Like, nobody's talked about the upfront money, so we don't know. We don't know.
A big upfront because he lost. How big can his upfront purse be if he lost?
I don't know. I don't know what the guarantee is for either guy.
How much did they make last fight? What, 20 million?
That was base. That was up front.
So if that's the case, bro, let's look at it like this. If you made, let's say they made 30 million altogether, or 40 million, whatever they made. Let's say they made 40 million. Some of that is back-end money. If the back-end ain't good, then basically you're taking a second fight for a ridiculously reduced price.
Yeah. I don't know. It's weird because I'm like, they went from Wilder winning the arbitration to the fight being made within 5 days. Like, everything was done like within 5 days, which makes me believe that they already had a deal done just in case Wilder won the arbitration. So I think they were negotiating behind the scenes anyway. That's why I always said Eddie Hearn was left out of the loop.
That's why I also think that July 24th date was just there. Because you think about it, and bro, you have that date already before the arbitration.
Correct.
That's the first thing.
Correct.
Then you decide to do, well, Wilder's been in camp since last year. Fury's been in camp. Fury had a 7-week camp, or let's say 8-week camp. You don't have an 8-week camp for a Wilder fight if you haven't fought for 1 full year. That's the second thing. And then you don't do a press conference 4 weeks before the fight that's supposed to be your biggest fight of the year. And you only do a press conference in the United States when last time you done a press conference in 3 different cities. I mean, bro, it don't make sense to me. Like, they literally didn't. I don't think they had intentions to make that fight. And then now I think about it, I don't know. Get to Conrad's question, because I feel like that's a question that you need to answer.
I got you. He said they are talking Chisora rematch. Said Parker is fighting Chisora again, or at least it's supposed to be. I don't want to see that, bro. I don't want to see that. Conrad Boxing, you think Fury can get out of the Wilder rematch? Let me get into that real quick. Hold on. And then he said because they can't fight now before the deadline. No. So here's the thing, Conrad Boxing. That's a great question. That's why I want to know what's in the fine print of the arbitration agreement. Is it kind of like the original contract? Is there a certain deadline for the rematch? Can the rematch be thrown out the window under certain conditions? Can it be thrown out of the window because of COVID? I think COVID probably was the only way they could push it back without the arbitrator getting involved. So
because if Wilder, let's say Wilder was to fight someone else, is there a chance that if Wilder lost,
it's no way? Yeah, he's not obligated then at that point. Like, because he won the arbitration based off of the current situation. Like, the current situation is the reason why Wilder won the arbitration. If he goes up against a Dillian White or a Michael Hunter or something like that to replace to replace Fury, like just get a touch-up fight, and he loses, then he loses his spot. He loses his spot.
I think that, because remember when Jamel Charlo was mandatory for Harrison? Jamel Charlo ended up fighting in the interim, and he won his fight.
Mm-hmm.
But in my mind, I'm just thinking, what happens if you lose?
You lose your spot. You lose your spot. If you in the buffet line and get out of line, you can't get back in line. Like, not in the same spot. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go back. You know what I'm saying? So, like, when Dillian White came out and was like, I'll take the Wilder fight, Eddie Hearn was talking, and I was like, that was for the casuals. That was for the casuals. That was for the people that don't know the sport of boxing. I'm just like, there's no way they knew Wilder wasn't going to take that fight. That was a free chance for them to get some publicity, which, I mean, it's smart.
Saying that, if WBC stripped Fury, White would become main champion. I think Wilder would fight White for the belt.
But I think that's the only way them two get in the ring is unless there's a belt on the line, the actual WBC belt on the line, or there's an opportunity for the winner to fight AJ.
In the arbitration, can Fury relinquish his belt?
That's what I'm saying. If he relinquishes his belt, then then I got a weird feeling this ain't happening October 9th either. Because I'm just gonna come flat out and say it.
If he relinquishes his belt, he might still be obligated to fight Wilder. But then, how motivated is Wilder to fight Fury?
But I think the arbitration is based on the fact that it's a championship fight.
Why?
The fact that it's not. Yeah, but the fact that it's not. The fact that because the other two fights was championship fights.
I thought the arbitration was based on the contract. And him being contractually obligated to fight.
Right, but with the belt on the line. If Fury drops the belt, let's just say he just drops the belt, right? He's like, I don't want to, I'm just going to drop it.
The arbitration can't stop, by the way. The arbitration has no, the arbitration can't to stop. Like, let's keep it real. If he says, I don't want the WBC belt anymore, I don't think the whole court situation can stop him from doing it.
No, they can't do anything. That's like telling somebody they can't quit their job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to quit your job, like, you can quit your job.
Because Fury and Aaron could easily do is go, I'll relinquish my belt, but I'm going to still be able to fight Wilder. So you can fight me on October the 9th, but it's for no belt. Obviously, Wilder's going to say no.
Yeah, Wilder's not going to take the fight if it ain't that WBC belt.
However, what we also could be looking at is a case of Fury preparing an excuse if he loses.
Yeah, I can't. The thing is, bro, like, I don't think it's happening October 9th neither. I'm gonna come right out and say it. Like, I don't think it's happening on the 9th either.
October 9th, bro, I know that fight ain't happening. And you know what's crazy in my mind? I'm thinking, bro, why would you announce a fight when the dude supposedly still has COVID? That's why I feel like that date is so forced.
Bro,
that date has to be forced, bro.
Yeah, bro, this is the thing, bro. Like, when it comes down to it, like, Fury, quote unquote, has COVID. There was an outbreak within his camp. That's what was told. I was told that wasn't the case. As of yesterday, Tyson Fury was in the casino taking pictures of people, and he visited a car dealership. That's a lot of moving around for somebody that got COVID. Just saying. And in the pictures, there's no mask, no nothing. And for people who don't know, I work for the health department, so I know what you're supposed to do and what you're not supposed to do under those conditions. So
let's say he does have COVID. Let's say he does have COVID. Do you announce a fight when this guy hasn't recovered? That's the question I have to ask.
Yeah, and they said he wasn't asymptomatic, and they said that. So I'm like, people get mad when you're bringing up different things about Fury, but I'm like, yo, like, this is what is being reported. We're just talking about what was being reported. Like, basically, him having COVID and it being an outbreak in his team, I'm like, it's not true. Like, it's not true, and there's no knock against nobody. I'm like, they reported something just to put something out there, but I think COVID was the only way they was going to be able to get off that July 24th date for an arbitration agreement. I think that's the only thing. You know what I mean? Let me get these comments real quick, bro. Brendan Jackson in the building. Big shout out to Brendan.
Stay to the end as well, bro.
Stay to the end of the show. We got a real big announcement. He said, salute and cheers to the shit show of this fight being pushed back for the umpteenth time. Yeah, man, it's crazy, bro. Like, it's like I said before, like, if Fury believes that the second fight wasn't a fluke, if he felt like he got robbed in the first fight and he feel like he's clearly the better fighter, he feel like Wilder's a one-trick pony and all that, why not just get the fight out the way? Just get it out the way. Like, if you're clearly better, like, if I'm on the basketball court and there's a dude that I've beat 3 straight times one-on-one, if he asks me to play one-on-one, of course I'm going to play him one-on-one and get it out the way because I know I can beat him. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand it.
In my mind, and I'm being honest with you, bro, I do think Fury feels like he can beat him. Bro, they're fighters. They have full confidence. I do think Fury has confidence that he will beat Wilder. I just think that there's something else that's going on that's causing him, because it's not even, because I don't look at it as an isolated incident. There's something about him and rematch clauses that he just don't like. I don't know. Maybe he just dictated and don't be like told what to do.
But it's none of the rematch clauses. He don't like any of them.
Yeah, that's my point, bro.
Yeah,
it's not just about Wilder, it's anybody.
Yo, Fury, one of them type of dudes, right? Like, you'll give him your card, you'll give him your food card to go to the market and shit, to go get some food, like, and he'll never come back. Like, he one of them dudes. Like, you give him a card to be like, yo, go to the store, get me like these five things. Like, you will never hear from him again. Like, he'll run off on you. Like, he's one of them types, man. Like,
and he'll come back a year later and be like, bro, how come you didn't message me?
Yeah, like, yo, Fury remind me of He reminds me of Chris Tucker from fucking Money Talks and shit. Just the 2-bit
Yeah,
hustler. Like that's Fury all in a nutshell, man. Like it's crazy, man. Conrad boxing. What pisses me off the most is that they canceled a great heavyweight card. That card was fire, bro.
yeah.
That card was fire. Like I was gonna purchase it just off the undercard. Yeah, that undercard was fire. The General 215, what's going on, good brother? I'm assuming you in my city. Big shout out to you. Tony Reviews. Mauricio can order White versus Fury for the WBC title. He has been on record stating that the fight is between Fury and Wilder and has nothing to do with the WBC. The belt belongs to the WBC, so they could. Tony's Reviews, let me get at that first, Shane. Tony's Reviews, Mauricio Suleiman, all his comments are subject to change. His rule book is subject to change.
Where the money
is where the money is. Wherever the money is, that's where he's.
The truth is, when Mauricio Suleiman realizes that he's lost out on so much money in terms of sanctioning fees, and he realizes that AJ and Usyk's going to make a ridiculous amount of money, and Wilder hasn't fought in a long time, Fury hasn't fought in a long time, he's going to do the obvious thing. And to me, bro, I swear to God, if you were to ask me what I think is going to happen, I don't know, but somehow I feel White and Wilder will fight for the WBC belt. I don't know how that's going to happen, but that's what I think is going to happen.
I don't think I'm gonna be real. I'm not gonna believe Wilder Fury happening until they step in the ring. And I said that months ago.
Wilder and White will fight. I don't know how that for the WBC belt. I don't know how that's gonna happen. But I think that's gonna be Wilder's next fight. I don't know why. But I just Wilder won't happen, because if it's gonna happen, it'll happen already.
I just don't see it happening. I don't think it's happening October 9th. They're going to prove me wrong. That's really what it comes down to. They're going to prove me wrong, like for sure. Tony's Reviews, he said, do whatever they want to do with it if Fury keeps stalling. That's the thing. Like, they could, but if they're going to go where the money is, like, if the money is him stripping him, they're going to strip him.
Fury's proven that he feels like he's bigger than the belts. Bro, this guy got rid of 3 straps at one time. He got rid of all of them at one time. So this isn't a dude who feels like he can be dictated to by any governing body. He already pulled out a WBC ordered fight twice. He does not feel like anybody can dictate to him. So, bro, let's keep it real. Like, he doesn't care. He will do what he thinks is best for him.
I could see Fury doing one or two things. Either A, he can claim he got an injury, push it off again, or B, just retire.
Or just relinquish the strap, or
just let go of the strap. I just do not see this fight happening. I do not see this fight happening. They gonna have to prove me wrong. They gonna have to prove me wrong, and that's that. Tony's Reviews, he said, right, Mauricio changes, but that's not the point. The point is the title isn't held up by the contract. It's between Wilder and Fury. That is all I was pointing out.
Yeah, that's true, but that was always the case.
Yeah, but the thing, bro, the thing about it, yeah, it's not tied in. The belt is not tied in, but that's a big part of why the fight is an issue.
Of course, because Wilder ain't fighting without the strap.
Right, that's no different than Dillian White. Dillian White not fighting Deontay Wilder unless there's a strap involved. That strap means a lot. That's like, hey, Tony's Reviews, that's like asking me to go to work, but they not going to pay me for the day. Hell no, I ain't going to work.
They're asking me to go over to her house, and I'm just going there to watch Netflix.
I'm not doing that. I'm like, we can FaceTime for that. I'm not traveling across the city and coming to your crib and you rubbing up on me on the couch, and I'm sit up there, I'm thinking it's about to go down, and you tell me like, nah, we just gonna sit here and watch Netflix and eat fucking cereal and shit. Get the fuck out of here. Like, hell no. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I hear what you're saying, but at the same time, that belt means everything in this situation. Because I'm like, if there's no belt on the line, if you're Wilder's not gonna take the fight. He's not gonna take the fight. He's not gonna take the fight. So it's like you're saying it, but at the same time, it's just like, for what? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
The truth is, Mauricio Suleiman is just trying to make himself relevant in a place where he's not relevant. That's just
correct, because he's an afterthought in this situation. Exactly. He's an afterthought. Conrad Boxing WBC wants to be part of AJ Fury for sure. They want to be a part of. They want to be honest with you, Conrad. They don't care who it is. They just want the WBC belt in the equation when it's a unification. That's it.
Bro, can you imagine? Yeah, if Fury relinquishes the belt and they make the big Saudi fight between AJ and Fury, and there's no WBC strap on the line.
He's gonna
be pissed.
And it's crazy because how much is the sanctioning fee? 3%?
10. Oh, free or 5?
3%. Let's just say it's 5. Let's say that's what, about $150 million fight.
Yeah.
Times.
So that is about 3% of that. 150 million. That's 1.5 times 3. That is 4 million.
And if it's 5%, that's 7.5. If you're doing it from 150 million, I would be pissed off too.
Fight deal.
And if it's a 2-fight deal, so they gonna get their sanctioning fees up front. It's crazy, man. Suleiman might send them boys at the Fury, man, if that happened. For real, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, hold on. He said it's Gus. Oh, that's my guy, Gus, man. I work with Gus, man. That's my guy, man. Big shout out to Gus, yo. That's my guy right there, man. Cool ass dude, man. Conrad Boxing, he said, good point. Tony's reviews. I clearly started with Mauricio can order White versus Fury, got the WBC title. I meant to write Wilder, but regardless, the point remains Mauricio can do what he wants with the title at this point.
But no, I agree with you.
I agree with that.
But it's just, we know where Mauricio's mindset's at. He just wants to be attached to whatever's the undisputed fight.
Whatever's the undisputed, that's where he wants to be attached.
He goes out and strips Fury. What that does is allow Fury to fight AJ for all the marbles. But no WBC belt.
Everything
and
but
150 million he doesn't get a piece of.
Because the thing is, yo, Fury could walk into an AJ fight in Saudi and AJ would still take the fight.
Of course,
he would still take the fight. 150 million, bro. I ain't gonna front. I'm fighting Fury for 150,000. I'm hopping in the ring. I don't want no taxes or nothing taken out. But they going to give me 150 cool hard cash, like in a duffel bag or something. Bro, and I'm getting in there with Fury.
You know what's crazy, bro? Like, they would just market it as an undisputed fight, even though it's not undisputed. The reason why they will market it as an undisputed fight and it's not undisputed is Wilder lost to Fury, and if they make Wilder versus White, White lost to AJ. So whoever's the champion, bro, whoever wins that Wilder-White fight, they already have lost. And to make matters even worse, bro, and this is the biggest thing that none of us is even contemplating, is the fact that they could potentially make Fury franchise champion. And we haven't even thought of that. They could make Fury franchise champion.
That's a fact, bro. Like, that's a fact. But I wonder if that's in the arbitration deal, too, where they can't do that.
Bro, the WBC didn't sign anything. So how could they force the WBC to change the rules? Yeah,
but the thing is, though, that affects the arbitration, though. I'm pretty sure they discussed that. I
don't think Mauricio Suleiman's in that contract. He can do whatever he wants. At the end of the day, he just wants to be part of the money.
But the thing is, though, if that was the case, if it was that simple, they would have just did it.
That's
That's what
why
I'm saying. Like, it got to be something in that contract, bro. It got to be something in that contract because that's too simple. They did that with Lomachenko. They did that with Lomachenko, and that's on a much smaller scale. My boy Gus, he said I may have missed it, but what's you guys' opinion for the trilogy? Who do you think gonna win the fight?
My opinion is very simple. If they were to fight today, naturally you have to go with Fury. But if Wilder won, I wouldn't be surprised. I do feel like Fury is favorite, and if I was to make a prediction, I'll still pick Fury. And the main reason why I'd pick Fury is because I think Wilder is overthinking the rematch. The fight is a very simple fight. If I'm in through Wilder's camp, very simple, very easy to come up with a game plan to beat Wilder Fury. I just think they're overthinking things. They're trying to be too technical,
give them the details. For the people that don't know, give them your details in terms of what you think Wilder need to do to win that trilogy match.
One, keep throwing the right hand as much as possible. Like I'll literally say, bro, throw the right. It's a 3-minute round. Throw the right hand 20 times in 3 minutes. That's what I'll tell you. If you throw the right hand 20 times in 3 minutes, you're gonna see Fury's punch output reduced drastically. Well, I'm gonna tell you this now, bro. I don't care. I'm gonna just go on a little bit of a tangent. Fury's offensive game is weak. I don't care what anybody says to you. Fury's offensive game is weak, bro. He doesn't catch and counter. He doesn't have great, like, if you look at Fury, when was the last time you saw him punch with a fighter? He relies so much on dimension and being bigger than people. Like, Fury doesn't have the technical, what's the word? The offensive coordination to land the shots that an AJ lands, for example, or to land the shots that Artur Beterbiev lands, or even a Usyk lands offensively. He doesn't have that type of offensive game. So if I'm Wilder, I'm saying, bro, I'm gonna throw punches as much as possible. Keep going forward, keep throwing my right hand, because what I realized is, and I said this to Jeff, whenever Wilder throws the right hand, Tyson Fury gives up real estate. He takes steps backwards. So to me, all I'm going to do is, okay, I'm going to keep throwing the right hand, keep Fury going backwards. I can't have the guy coming at me. In the second fight, what you saw is Fury kept walking forward and Wilder kept giving up that real estate. Wilder's not a back foot fighter, especially if he's trying to transition into offense against someone who's so much bigger and got better dimension. Another thing is he's got to follow him when Fury takes that step back, you got to take that step forward. When he takes another step back, take that step forward and go forward throwing. Don't care about being sloppy. Don't care about looking messy and wild and all of that stuff. That's your name. That's who you are as a fighter. Get the job done. Land the right hand, go home. It doesn't even matter how you look. In the second fight, he was trying to be too clean, too efficient, and bro, that's not your game. Be effective and active. That's what he has to do, and he will win the fight. I guarantee it. If he does that, I guarantee he will win the fight. Because Fury doesn't have great offense, bro. He's got poor offense.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. It's not too much technically Wilder has to change. It's really the mentality. He can't just take a backward step. Can't take a backward step, throw the right hand. Like, it's really that simple. Like, and figure everything else out.
In camp, all I'll do is, if I was training with Wilder, all I'll do is have, when they do the rings and they do the normal ring and then they put the ropes around the ring, like the skipping ropes around the ring or like string around the ring, draw the line in the sand. You don't step past this line. Once you step past this line, you have to go forward. And literally the whole entire camp, I'll make him fight where he's just drawing lines in the sand. You can't. The moment his fighter passes this line, I'm going to go on attack. Literally, that's how I'll train the whole camp.
Yeah, I don't want to see him on the back foot. I don't want to see him boxing off the back foot. None of that. I want for him to be aggressive, stand his ground, and let them bombs go, man. Let them bombs go. If you get caught, you get caught. Conrad boxing, maybe AJ somehow avoids Usyk and Fury avoids Wilder 3 so they can have their mega fight. What you think about that, Shane?
If the fight's been pushed back too long for them not to what's it called? For them to make the Wilder and Fury and AJ fight now, it's the timing is just not right for it. But AJ will be fighting Usyk next. That's just the fact. AJ will be fighting Usyk next. But Fury, on the other hand, I'm not 100% sure he'll be fighting Wilder.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that fight, Conrad. I'm just not sure about Wilder and Wilder and Fury, man. Just I'm not sure. Tony's reviews. I have to disagree. AJ doesn't want to fight Fury. He wants the strap. AJ doesn't care if Fury, Wilder, or White has it. He's aiming for undisputed. AJ would overlook Fury and fight the winner of Wilder versus White.
AJ might, but AJ don't control his career.
Eddie Hearn does.
Money controls this guy's career.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way on God's green. I will tell you this for a fact. If Wilder beats White, I guarantee you they'll make Fury. I don't think, and this is me being honest, I don't think AJ wants to fight Wilder as much as he wants to fight Fury. Because the Wilder and Fury fight makes too much money. It makes too much money. And that's just the truth. It makes ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah, the bread would be insane.
You know what they could also do, which we didn't think of? They could do what they done with Pacquiao and obviously it was a different governing body, but they done this with Belly as well. They done this with Belly. Make Fury the champion in recess.
Yeah, it's too many scenarios where Suleiman could have made similar moves that he's made in the past to make this situation make sense, and he hasn't done it. And that's why I said it's something in that arbitration contract or somebody's in his ear to stop him from doing that. Because think about it. Think about it, right? So if they wanted to really clear out the whole Fury and Wilder thing, they wanted to just get rid of the arbitration. They could have been like, all right, you know what? We're going to make Fury the franchise champion. We're going to make Wilder the regular champion. We're going to put Wilder up against Dillian White. Then we're going to have Fury and AJ as a unofficial unification fight. And they do it the same way they did with Devin Haney, Vasyl Lomachenko, and Teofimo Lopez. They could have did it that way, and there would have been no problem. Even if he didn't want to make him a franchise champion, Fury could have just dropped the belt. There's still a $150 million bag involved. And he can come back if he beats AJ, and he's going to have to fight Wilder anyway, because that's another unification. So there's so many different ways they could have done this. That's what I'm saying. Like, Mauricio's hand is in this in some way, shape, or form. Like, his hands is in it.
What people don't understand is they don't, because if Fury relinquishes the belt don't become vacant. So they don't have to worry about losing sanctioning because
they get to control who fights for it.
Dillian White is interim champion.
Yeah.
So basically, all they do is, you are ordered to fight for the WBC fight belt, Wilder. All you do is fight our interim champion, and they get sanctioning fees regardless. It's not like the belt's gonna go vacant.
Yeah, that belt is not gonna go vacant. Like, it's not gonna go vacant at all. Conrad, he said, man, they could make a movie out of this. Yeah, they could definitely make a movie out of this shit.
I've never seen this in boxing in my life. I've never seen a situation like this. If you follow from Fury 1 to Fury 3, I've never seen because remember the whole situation with the first Fury fight, and then the second Fury fight, and then the third one, bro. This is just a saga.
Yeah, it's crazy. The General 215 is just how perfect can you be for 12 rounds without getting touched by that straight right? Not saying Fury can't. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. He said his straight right is ridiculous. I agree. Good assessment. Yeah, man. I mean, that's really what it comes down to, bro. Is this either Wilder gonna land the right hand and go home, or he gonna lose on points? It's really that simple. Like, it's really that simple, bro. But yeah, Fury's going to go a whole 12 rounds without eating the money shot, but he's gotten up from 2 money shots. So it's going to be hard for Wilder to get him up out of there. You know what I'm saying? But can Fury go a whole 12 rounds with avoiding the right hand? I don't think he can. I think Wilder's going to land at least one monster right hand. Like, he's going to land at least one during the fight.
I just feel like Fury will go in with a different mentality that he did with the first fight. I think
Yeah.
he'll just be a bit more aggressive because I feel like everybody realized that, bro, trying to avoid a right hand is just counterproductive. You might as well just try and go and be offensive and hope your offense can overpower Wilder's defense.
Yeah, I mean that's really what it comes down to. Conrad boxing, Fury getting into the ring with Wilder after 17 months of inactivity is crazy. If he starts slow to find his rhythm, he will get knocked out. Conrad, Shane, let me jump on that real quick. Shane and I say this all the time. Conrad, you probably heard us say this before. If it's two guys that's getting into the ring and they've both had the same amount of layoff, if it's a year and a half, 2 years, the technical guy is always going to be the guy that takes longer
To
to get
adjust.
going and to get it to adjust inside the ring, get into a rhythm,
The only
versus the power guy.
That's a fact because the power don't go. The
Power don't go
only thing
nowhere.
I would say is Fury's used to taking breaks out of the ring. So that's what I would say. Fury is used to taking long breaks out of the ring. But even with that said, you know, we saw someone as technically gifted as Dimitri Bivol. It took him a while to get adjusted
Mm-hmm.
against someone, no disrespect to Craig Richards, but who's nowhere near his level.
Right.
You know, it took him a while, and he's technically gifted. So sometimes in boxing, it's not just about, and it's just minor mistakes that can make big effects. Minor mistakes, taking that half step to the left, or not timing the shot, or not understanding the distance, or not getting your head off the line, just that half inch, that will make the biggest difference.
Yeah, and the thing is, Fury keeping his head off the line, that would work in the majority of fights. But Wilder throws his hooks from such crazy angles. It's a little bit more than him just keeping his head off the line. Like he has to be defensively responsible against Wilder because his punches don't come from orthodox angles. Um,
No,
they don't, and on top of that, if you let him get a step and you let him step into his shots, he got one of the quickest jab right hands in the game. It's quick for somebody that big. So yeah, that 17-month layoff is going to be crazy. But I think if the fight happens, I think it's going to take Fury 3 to 4 rounds just to get himself into a rhythm. Because I think the first 2 rounds, I'm not going to say he's going to be running, but he's going to be very defensively responsible for the first 2 rounds. And hope that Fury burns a lot of, hope Wilder burns a lot of energy, and then start getting this game going.
there is a chance that that does happen because if Wilder is who he's saying he is right now, he's gonna come up to kill. When you
Oh
come up
yeah,
to
yeah,
kill
for
with
sure,
so
for
much
sure.
emotion,
Yeah,
you're. This is what rookies do. The big rookies make that mistake. The first round they tend to drain energy, and I don't think Wilder's ever been in a situation like this. So he could potentially gas. I don't think that will happen, but he could potentially gas. I feel like if he goes out soon, he's gonna land. That's what I think.
yeah. I think the thing about it is like I think Fury. If I'm Fury, right, I know Wilder's coming in trying to kill something. Like I know he's in there trying to kill something. Like the first 2 3 rounds, I'm just jabbing,
I wouldn't
jab.
even do that, bro. You know what I'm doing? Hands behind my back, sticking my tongue out, doing all sorts of, and not even throwing, bravado. Because in my mind, I'm looking at it like, bro, why do Fury win so much rounds with no punches? Literally just doing the, like when he fought Klitschko, all he was really doing was teasing Klitschko and winning rounds. That's not even boxing.
Yo,
But
he
I
wasn't
feel
even
like that
landing
would work.
punches, yo.
I feel that would work against Wilder because if you want to kill someone and when you miss, this guy's taunting you, it will get you even more angrier. And that's the thing that I think will affect Wilder mentally because either he's going to start to revert to not throwing as much punches or throwing more punches. Either way, it's going to work into Fury's benefit.
Yeah, I mean even with I'm not totally against that either, but I wouldn't want to play that game that early because he's fresh. He's
He doesn't
fresh and
even
he'd be
have
doing it.
Wilder.
Yeah, but still though, this is a different dynamic. I would just like first 2 3 rounds. jab, move. Just make sure you're focused on the right hand. Just make sure you focus on the right hand. Make sure the right hand don't land. Let him
You
get
were
all
not
that
tying
energy
up
out of
as
his way.
well. Think
Yeah,
that you were not tying up.
yeah. Let that energy. Let him get that aggressive energy out the way because it's going to take like 2 rounds for him to get that out the way. It's kind of like when Wilder forced to Vern in the second fight. He was just so pumped up and he just had so much energy. Like that adrenaline only lasts but so long. You got to let for Wilder. You got to allow Wilder to get that adrenaline out the way. Once he gets that out the way, then it's like, all right, now let's fight. Let's fight for real now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, let me get the comments real quick. Tony's reviews. AJ makes ridiculous amounts of money no matter who you put in front of him. I do not believe Fury makes more with AJ than Wilder or White would if the WBC belt was on the line. AJ is the cash cow, not
No,
hold on, not the others.
the reason why that's incorrect is because I'll tell you this for a fact. Fury versus AJ pay-per-views in the UK, that does 3 million pay-per-view buys easy. Nobody else does 3 million pay-per-view buys. You can say he makes money regardless who he fights. He made 1.5 million pay-per-view buys with Ruiz, 1.7 with a Klitschko, 1.7 with Parker. He didn't make 3 million. There's a difference. Bro, every single human being in this country, in the UK, will be paid. Bro, people know I'm a boxing fan. Anybody who knows I'm a boxing fan, the first thing they say to me is, who do I think wins? AJ or Fury? They don't say who do I think wins, AJ or Wilder or AJ or White. They say AJ or Fury. And the reason why is because Fury's name is bigger than now you're gonna say, well, what about in America? Personally, in my opinion, I don't think AJ has cracked the American market. His purse isn't big because of what's going on in America. You personally said yourself that AJ is the cash cow. Where's AJ's money coming from? Majority of it is coming from the UK,
Okay.
Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is paying for any AJ fight. So I agree with you in that sense. Whoever AJ fights, they're gonna pay. But in the UK, bro, I'm telling you this for a fact. AJ versus Fury does 3 million pay-per-view buys.
Yeah. Tony's reviews, I understand what you're saying, but the numbers wouldn't support your argument. It's going to be money made in all of those fights. Don't get me wrong, but it's not equal. It's not all of those scenarios is not equal from a money standpoint. Bruce goes, what if this ended like the McGregor fight and they have to do it 4 times? I'll quit watching boxing. He said maybe. Listen, man, Bruce goes, I'm on record. I don't think the fight's happening. I'm on record. I don't think the fight's happening. I think either Fury's gonna either say he's injured, he's gonna drop the belt, or he's gonna retire. It's one of the three. I will not believe Tyson Fury is gonna make a title defense until he actually is in the ring. And that's just where I'm at with it.
These guys consider Fury as the greatest fighter greatest heavyweight of this era. He's never made a title defense. Wilder how much title defenses did Wilder make? 9? 10?
Yeah, and that's the thing. That's where Shane and I conversation was originally. We were off camera talking, and the question was, if you had to pick one heavyweight out of the current heavyweights, who has the better chance of getting in the Hall of Fame? And I think at the time Shane said Fury, but I had to bring to his attention that he never made a title defense before in his life, and Shane kind of, retracted a little bit. He was like, damn, he didn't make a title defense before. And I'm like, it says a lot about a fighter to make title defenses because it's much harder to keep the belt than it is to get it. So the fact that somebody repeatedly defends a title, I personally have a lot of respect for any fighter that does that. Sort of B-hops and things like that.
When you look at Fury's career, the two names that stand up, Klitschko, Wilder, obviously. But what makes a champion majority of the time is when they dominate an era. They dominate an era. You can't really dominate an era just by beating two great and I have to say, great fighters. That's not dominating an era. Dominating an era is kind of like what Floyd done, or what
Mm-hmm.
Roy done,
Mm-hmm.
or Andre Ward. Like,
Mm-hmm.
these dudes dominated the era. He didn't do that. So, especially in the era of boxing right now, where we're seeing guys like Josh Taylor and Jamel Charlo, Teofimo Lopez, these dudes
But
are actually becoming undisputed and
yeah.
beating other guys in their division.
Yeah. And the only way a guy becomes undisputed and they don't clean out the division is because the division is that deep. It's not because of the champion. You know what I'm
No
saying? Like, so if Jamel beats Castano, there's 5 fights I could pick for Jamel right now.
facts.
Right now. Josh Taylor at 140, there's 5 or 6 guys from 135
He's
that he can
already
fight.
beaten a lot of guys at 140 already. That's the
Yeah,
crazy thing. So
yeah.
even if you say that, you look at Josh Taylor, you go Hose, you go Pro Gray, you go Postal, Ramirez, you go Baranchik. Those are 4 top fighters already that I've already named. Not to mention dudes who are coming up into the
From
division.
135. Like, yeah, like Josh Taylor he could literally fight the top 5 dudes at 135 that's decide to come up. If he be like, yo, I'm giving any of these top 5 guys at 135 a unified title shot right now to meet me at 140. So that's Tank, that's Ryan Garcia, that's Devin Haney, that's Lomachenko, and Teofimo. He can offer any of those 5 that offer, they're going to go up to 140 to go see him. So even Josh Taylor still has work to do at 140 pounds, and he's he's undefeated, like he's undefeated, undisputed, unified. You know what I mean? So just because you're unified or undisputed does not mean you don't have more work to do. You know what I mean? And it's a whole different ballgame dominating an era. People don't realize how crazy that is to dominate an era. Like, you know
Because
what I'm saying?
even when you look at Andre Ward, some people still say, "Oh, he should have fought Adonis Stevenson." Some people still say that. To
Mm-hmm.
this day, some people say that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the same thing with Floyd. Floyd beat 20 world champions. People say, "Oh, he still should have fought Paul Williams." You're always gonna have that dude you don't
Yeah.
fight, but
Right.
you can't have more guys you didn't fight than you did fight. You look at Fury's career. He didn't fight Vitali because he was around when Vitali was there. He didn't
Mm-hmm.
fight AJ. He hasn't fought AJ so far. He
Mm-hmm.
hasn't fought Usyk. He hasn't fought Dylan White. Who else can you say? I mean, he didn't fight Povetkin when Povetkin was in his prime neither.
Mm-hmm.
So
There's a
those
lot
are
of fighters.
those are 5 fights within his time frame that he hasn't fought.
Right.
And the only thing you can really say claim to fame is Wilder and Klitschko, which they're big names, but you can't compare to Ali, who you ask, who did Ali not fight? He fought everybody. That's the difference. That's the difference right there.
Yeah. No, that's 100% facts. Hold on a second. Yeah. So, Robert Brown, big shout out to you, good brother. Fury is the biggest sham artist in boxing history. Robert, he has a lot of stuff going on with him, man. Like, he has a lot of stuff going on with him, and I'm just gonna leave it there. Where he's at as far as the nonsense all the time, I don't know, but he got a lot of stuff going on with him.
But he's allowed to get away with it because of the truth is, let's keep it real. Like Bob Arum has got rid of fighters for less.
Absolutely, absolutely. But Bob Arum ain't stupid though. He ain't dumb. He ain't been around for 50 years for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Conrad Boxing, yeah, no way AJ White makes nearly the numbers as AJ Fury or AJ Wilder. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Tony's reviews lost me when he threw Dillian White in the mix, because I'm like, he just doesn't bring in the amount of money as the other guys. You know what I mean? That's why I said his statement, the numbers don't add up to his statement. Said AJ broke records with the pre-ticket sales at MSG for the Ruiz fight. He's proven money.
Can I explain it? Can I explain
Go
it?
ahead. Go ahead.
The reason why he bought pre-sale tickets because he had 15,000 British fans flying over to America.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, the capacity is 20,000. You had 15,000 British fans. I mean, that proves alone how much of a pull he has. And let's keep it real, British fans, you know for a fact, British fans travel for their fights.
They will
Unlike
definitely
any other
travel.
fan, they travel. We saw it with
And
Ricky, we saw it with Saunders, we saw it with Fury. They travel, bro.
Ricky had, I'd still one of the craziest scenes I've ever viewed was the weigh-in for Floyd and Hatton. That thing looked like a UFC weigh-in. That thing was jumping.
That's the thing, bro. He made Floyd seem like the away fight.
Absolutely.
Bro,
And
go on.
that was a pro Hatton crowd at the weigh-in. That was a pro Hatton crowd in Floyd's home state. That was a road game for Floyd, and people don't give him credit for it. People are like, oh, well, it was in Vegas. That was his home state. No, the majority of that crowd was British fans. Period.
What you don't understand, yeah, and I'll tell you this for a fact, that like British fans, regardless what sport it is, bro. And when I say British fans, I don't mean me British, because
Right.
different type of British.
Right.
British fans, whatever sport it is, they travel to support their team or whatever. Bro, they will do that. So when you talk about AJ breaking pre-sales, I can guarantee you, and it was a fact, it wasn't even just me. Eddie Hearn already done it. They sold a package with flights and hotels for the tickets. They sold
the tickets, yeah. So it's
a fly over. Bro,
so it's a whole story behind that. Yeah.
90,000 against Taka. Bro, come on, man.
Bruce Goes, there's a whole story behind that pre-ticket sale thing too. Like, it wasn't just a regular thing. Like, but you're correct though. Like, yeah, he's proving money. Yes, sir, is in the building. Big shout out to you, family. He said, not all rules to undisputed are created equal. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's 100%. That's a great comment too. Bruce Goes.
I'll give you an example of that. Crawford's rule to undisputed was dope.
Way different. Yeah.
It was
way
good,
different.
It was different. Comparing it to someone like Usyk, and you think, well, who else was there left for Usyk to fight? Like, literally, that's cleaning out a division. What Usyk done is cleaning out a division.
He cleaned out a division. That's cleaning it up. Right. Facts. Bruce Goes, the fighters need to concentrate on fighting, not the business of boxing. Save that for your managers and get aggressive ones who want to make legacies. Bruce Goes, that sound good, but you know damn well that ain't the case. But it sounds great though. He said, this is the only era I can remember where there is no clear heavyweight champion. Let me get into that real quick. Because of the sanctioning bodies and its multiple belts, you can really you can make that claim for a lot of divisions. You can make that claim for 130. Well, you can make it for 122. You can make it for 160. You can make it for 168. You can make it for 175.
For 147.
147. There's a lot of divisions you could say that about because of the sanctioning bodies, but Bruce Goes, stick around for the end of the show because we're going to announce it really soon.
I'm glad you brought it up because we have to see this era finish. That's one thing I would say. Allow us to see the era finish. Because if we do get, I feel like we can potentially get AJ versus Fury. I feel like that fight's possible. It makes too much money for it not to happen. And I feel like we can potentially get AJ versus Wilder.
Yeah, I just think between AJ, Fury, Wilder, and Dillian White, if they wanted to, they don't have to fight nobody else for the rest of their career. Like, they could just round robin.
Getting AJ versus Usyk. So if Usyk is the real deal, we'll see it in the AJ fight.
Yeah, we'll see if he's ready for it, because we know skill wise he's ready. But size wise? Size, we're gonna see how much size matters in that fight, and can he turn up in a fight? I don't know if I've ever seen Usyk actually turn up in a fight. I think he's like the Erislandy Lara of the division. Like, he's just cruise control all day long. Bruce Gold said that says it's Shane, that proves he's money.
No,
Absolutely.
no, definitely. I'm not
Definitely.
saying he's not money.
Definitely.
I'm just saying that it it wasn't in the America. I'm saying he hasn't cracked the American market yet, in the
Yeah.
sense that, like, dudes, I don't live in America, so I wouldn't know. But from what I understand, he doesn't, like, he's not in the barber shops. People
Yeah.
talking about him in the barber shop. You walk in the street, like, in where once you mention boxing in the UK, people say AJ. That's just the facts.
Right. Right. It's just
You can
different.
walk down the street Wilder can walk down the street in UK, and he will have a million fans around him. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if that will happen if AJ walked down the street in America. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not in America. I don't
He,
know.
he'll be able to walk down the street. He'll be able to walk down the street in America and be fine. Like he'll be okay, depending on where. Depending on
He
where.
ain't
Like if he was
he's not getting a Steph Curry entourage.
Nah, he's not getting it. Yeah, he's not getting no LeBron James type, situation. Here in the state, he said UK fans are loyal, no doubt. That's a fact. And they loyal from the jump. Like guys debut on. Like
Rush fighters, bro.
yeah,
Rush fighters.
I listen. I'm not gonna lie, man. I got Bruce Gould. I'll let you know now. I got dreams of being a boxing manager. Like I would love to be a boxing manager. Like I would get nothing but UK dudes. I would get nothing but UK dudes. Like for real. Like I would get nothing but UK dudes, man. Like for sure. Like I would send Shane out. I'd be like, yo, who can I sign under G5 management? You know what I'm saying? And of course Shane gonna be a part of the team. Y'all already know. You know what I'm saying? He'll be doing scouting and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But Bruce Gould said the heavyweight champion is and always was the baddest man on the planet. See, that's the thing, Bruce. That's that perception that Muhammad Ali gave. That's that perception that Mike Tyson gave back in the day. Joe Louis, like, yes, that's what comes with the title. So the fact that you get an Alexander Usyk that could possibly be a heavyweight champion, he just doesn't have the look of the baddest man on the planet. Like when Michael Moore was champion, he didn't have that look as the baddest man on the planet. Like there's certain styles that just don't fit the heavyweight championship model. You understand what I'm saying? But I agree with that 100%. He said no heavyweight has cracked the American market. Just the hardcores know who's who. No, I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But the thing is, the landscape is different now, Bruce Goals. The landscape is different. It's so many more roadblocks for a guy to crack the American market because ultimately you need fights to crack the American market.
That's a fact. That's a
So,
fact. Because everyone didn't just wake up as a cash cow. Yeah,
right.
Fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody has to fight to get to that cash cow status. And if other promoters and other networks is not going to play ball, then it's hard for you to crack the market. Like if you ask me, could AJ crack the U.S. market right now, I would tell you no.
No.
I would tell you no because I'm like, there's too many obstacles in the way. I'm like, you got Bob Arum in the way, you got Heyman in the way, you got Showtime in the way. It's so many roadblocks to where he wouldn't be able to comfortably crack the market. You know what I'm saying? Like, and some people are just meant for for certain markets. Like AJ is UK Saudi. Like he don't need to crack the US market. Like for what? Like he doesn't need to. That's the point. People be like, oh well, you got to make it in the US. Not AJ. Not AJ. Him cracking the US market is not going to bring him any more bread. Because regardless, nothing the US can offer is going to be more than what he could do in the UK or do in Saudi. He doesn't have to crack the US. Yeah, he can't. He doesn't have to crack the US market. Actually, he'd be dumb to try to crack the US market.
That's why when they tried to bring him over to the US, I just thought that was just unnecessary.
It wasn't. But see, the thing was, Eddie was being greedy because not only was he trying to get AJ into the US market, he was trying to get Josh Taylor in the US market as well.
Was it Josh Taylor?
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm Josh Kelly. Josh Kelly. Yeah, he was trying to get Josh Kelly in that market too. You know what I'm saying? And Callum Smith. So he was trying to get a package deal in the U.S. market, and it just backfired on him. But he didn't realize how much politics is involved in U.S. boxing. Where
he tried to do what he done in the UK, which was
you can't do that.
Taking a fighter, bringing them to their home city, and then becoming big in their home city, like Josh Warrington, for example. he sells out a stadium in his home city, and that brings a large amount of money. In America, bro, you can have a fight in your home city. Don't mean dudes are gonna watch you. Like,
Right.
it's just the way it is.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Bruce Goes, he said, "Is boxing dying?" Hell no.
No,
Hell no.
no. If you're
Bruce
a
Goes,
hardcore boxing fan, you
Bruce
can't think that.
Goes, like, this is what I want you to do, right? I want you to write down every single big fight that's happened over the past 18 months. You could literally stack it up against, you could
Any
literally
era
stack it
of
up.
boxing,
Yeah, you
any
can
era
stack
of
it up against
boxing.
a lot of 18 months, and it's right up there. We've
Of
got
course,
unifications, we've got huge fights.
Wilder, Fury, Josh Taylor, Jose Ramirez. We're getting Castano Charlo. We got Figueroa, Fulton coming.
Full on, yeah.
We have Casemiro Rigondeaux, another unification. We got
You might get
Errol,
Canelo Plant.
Canelo Plant for undisputed. Errol Spence Pacquiao. I
It's been
mean,
a it's been a real good
it's
18,
been
12
a
to
real.
18 months. So I
Did
can't
I say
say
TFC
boxing's not.
Moloma? Did I say
Huh,
TFC Moloma?
yeah. Like Bruce Goes, boxing's not dying. This is the thing, and I'm glad YSM is in here because I'm getting ready to say this. Boxing's not dying as a sport. How boxing is being covered is dying as a sport. The
That's a fact.
media part is dying as a sport. There's very few that's covering the sport the correct way. Like, I had to be honest with you, and people don't make it easy, Bruce Goes. Like, I would love
I
to
have to
put
say
up
one other fight as well. Sorry,
mhm,
Estrada versus Chocolatito. Another
Estrada
unification.
Chocolatito. Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Like, it's so many good fights that has happened and so many good fights that's coming that I'm not going I might, as far as the actual matchups that's being made, boxing is in a pretty good spot, despite all the politics. It's in a really good spot. You know what I mean? YSM Sports Media is in the building. He said, yeah, he does, though. He said, how many $100 million paydays does AJ have? Um,
I don't think he has any.
I don't think he has any neither. But I think
I know he's got like
he gets a guaranteed,
30
what,
million.
20 to
30
30?
million.
He gets a
Yeah, 30
guaranteed
million.
30. Before it was 20, right?
Well,
He upped it.
it might have been 20 million pounds. I don't know how much that's in dollars, but
Right.
whatever. But I know now he done now he's I know for the last two fights he's had $30 million. I know
Yeah.
in a Ruiz fight, I mean, some say he got $70 million for that fight. I don't know if that's true, but I have to
Yeah.
believe it. It's Saudi.
Yeah, AJ has definitely made the most money for the longest time in the heavyweight division over the
Yeah.
past couple of years. Like, nobody is touching his money trail. Like, that's a fact. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not Fury, not
Wow.
Wilder, not anybody else. Like, nobody is. He's the, to my knowledge, he's probably the highest grossing fighter in terms of what he gets paid per fight. Uh,
Maybe Canelo.
and Canelo, yeah, between him and Canelo, they're the top two when it comes down to it. Um, but yeah, I just, nah, Bruce Goes, boxing not dying. I could literally, Shane just did it. Like, you'd be lucky to get, like, it used to be rare that you got unification fights.
I'll give you
We've
an
gotten
example.
multiple. We got multiple.
In the 70s and 80s, how much? Let's go when they talk about Foreman Ali. I don't remember that same year there being a mega fight in the lightweight division or mega fight in the welterweight division. Bro, we're getting mega fights in nearly every single division, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Literally. If we get Viterbia versus Joe Smith this year as well, bro, like, let's keep it real. We as boxing fans, we can't be ungrateful.
Yeah, we getting a lot of good matchups, despite a lot of
We in the
matchups not.
pandemic as well, bro.
We in a pandemic. Yeah, we in a pandemic, man, and it's like, and then we just had Figueroa and Neri. We ain't mentioned that fight neither. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's so many fights, and then there's so many up and coming guys that hasn't got the big fight yet. Devin Haney hasn't got the big fight yet. Shakur hasn't got the big fight yet. To be honest with you, Tank hasn't got the big fight yet. Like, you know what I'm saying? Jared Anderson hasn't got the big fight yet. Like, it's so many guys that's out here that is knocking on the door. Boots hasn't got the big fight yet. It's boxing. A lot of people are saying boxing is dying, but I'm like, boxing is in a really good place in terms of, from my perspective, I'm like, it's in a good space. I'm like, people pay. Here's the problem. Here's my problem, right? And this for Bruce Schools. This is my problem. The two problems that I have is, number one, how boxing is covered. That's number one. And number two is, I'm talking about the boxing fan. And it doesn't matter who. Doesn't matter if it's the casual or it's the hardcore fan. Doesn't matter. There is more talk about the politics and the business of boxing than the actual boxing itself, what goes on inside of the ring.
Do you know why that happens, though? Because we allow the fact that we're not getting the fights, the mega commercial fights. We allowed the fact that we're not getting those to cloud the fact that we are getting other great fights. So, for example, the fact that we're not getting Crawford and Spence, AJ Fury or AJ Wilder, the fact that we're not getting those mega fights is the reason why we forget that we've got great fights. Because those fights are mega fights. But in my eyes, to me, and I'm keeping it real, you're going to have, I don't think there's no fight on this planet, and I'll keep it real. Charlo versus Castano, I can't tell you the last time I felt like this for a fight. Can't tell you. I can't tell you. I can't tell you the last time I felt like this for a fight. Charlo versus Castano, bro, and the promotion is so trash.
Bro,
but
here's the thing.
Nobody on this planet that wants that fight more than me. Nobody, not even Charlo.
Yo, like, the thing is, that's probably Shane and I's favorite fight of the year. Like, that's probably the one fight that we're looking forward to. But here's the thing, this goes to my point. If I would have put Jermell Charlo, Brian Castano in a thumbnail, and I said I'm going on live at 5:45, the bottom line is maybe only 20% of y'all would have clicked.
Facts.
But if I put Wilder and Fury on there, everybody's clicking. Like, people energy is not the same for every single fight or every single promotion or anything like that.
The truth is, certain people, there's different level of fans, and I understand
there's
that.
Different levels of it, right?
One person is better than other, but I just feel like right now the proportion of where to like weigh it up. We got casual fans, which is here, and you got hardcore fans, which is down there. And the truth is, I'll keep it real. Me and Jeff, if you go on this channel, I think there's 2,000 videos on this channel. Less than 5% of this channel is Wilder Fury or AJ.
Yeah.
And the truth is, the only reason why it's 5% is because of recent months we've been doing more Wilder Fury.
Yo, I have
that 1%.
Yo, listen, I have more videos about fighters that y'all never heard of before in your life than I do Wilder Fury. Like, that's a fact. I have interviews with people that y'all never heard of before. Like, you know what I'm saying? In a region that y'all probably never even knew existed in the United States. And I have more of those out there than Wilder Fury. Like, you know what I'm saying? So the way the sport is being covered is really the problem. And the fact that I have to put up a Wilder Fury pick to get y'all to click on the live to hear Shane and I talk about Charlo and Castano, that's the problem. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they're fighting this weekend. Like, that's the problem. I would have to do something that drastic to get y'all to listen to that. And then all the hardcores, all the hardcores don't have a central place to listen to that type of, to watch boxing or to listen to that type of talk, because there's so many channels out here. And I know we're getting off topic, but there's so many channels out here that are
flooding the market with Wilder and Fury.
Yeah, they're flooding the market with Wilder and Fury. So I'm like, if I come on and I be like, all right, we're gonna talk about Charlo and Castano, in 45 minutes, and there's 20 other channels that's talking Wilder Fury. There's just not that many people that's gonna come on and listen. Like I would rather talk about, and YSM can attest to this. I'd rather talk about Michael Coffey and Gerald Washington's card. Like that card is crazy. That's a crazy card from top to bottom. Crazy card from top to bottom. I'd rather talk about that than Wilder Fury. But as a media person, you got to know how to play the game, because at the end of the day, you need people to listen to you. And the fact that we got to go through, a bunch of different things, just to get people to listen to the hardcore stuff. You know what I'm saying? But let's keep it moving. Bruce Gold's fans are so sensitive that it takes the competitiveness fun out of it that turns many fans away. Bruce Gold, that's 100% correct. There's so many sensitive dudes out here, it'll make no sense. The key word is being fun. Absolutely. My guy, BoxingFirst Vlog is in the building. He says, send me the link. Bro, you want me to send it to your DM or you want me to send it to your phone?
Just put it in the live.
Yeah, but I don't know how many people are going to jump on, though. We try and get this announcement out the way.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Bruce goes, I can't wait for Charlo and Castano. Nobody's talking about it yet, bro. We're going to talk about it tomorrow.
That's because you're not in me and Jeff's private conversation. That's what we talk about.
That's all we talk about. Like, that's all we've been talking about. Like, you know what I mean?
All right, cool. Let me tell you how. I'll tell you this year for a fact. I stay up for a lot of fights that's in America. I stay up for a lot. In recent times, I think I stayed up last week for Sullivan Barrera and Zerdo. And Jojo Diaz. I stayed up for that fight. But I don't stay up for all the fights. This week, I'm staying up all, like, bro, I don't know if we're going to do a live watch along or not. I'm watching the fight regardless. Bro, my adrenaline, like, I feel like a kid in a candy store right now. Literally, I feel like a kid in a candy store. Like, oh, bro, I'm so excited for that fight.
Yeah, bro, and the thing is, man, I'm watching different polls and things like that. It's like 80% of people think Charlo gonna win the fight, and I'm like, y'all just don't know who Castano is.
Bro,
like, I really want to jump out on a limb. And be like, Castano's gonna win this fight, bro.
This we gotta get into this announcement, because that's what I'm gonna leave.
Well, let me send this link to BoxingFirst Vlog, and I'm actually glad he's gonna be in. Hopefully he'll jump in.
Why the link as well?
Okay. All right. Yeah, it's crazy. Because that's the fight that we're really looking forward to.
Facts.
Like, I don't even want to talk Wilder Fury, to be honest with you. I'm like, let's break down the X's and O's on Charlo and Castano. That's what I want to do.
Tomorrow, what I'll say is tomorrow, when you tune into the live, if you're not on Charlo Castano, don't tune in. Because that's all. If anybody clicks, says anything about anything else, you just read over it and
listen, it's all Charlo Castano tomorrow. It's all Charlo Castano tomorrow. I ain't putting up no thumbnail, no none of that. Like, for real. We got my guy BoxingFirst Vlog in the building. What's going on, bro?
What's up with you?
Ain't nothing, man. What's up with you?
Man, trying to get to the house, bro. Been at the grind all day, man. Tired than a motherfucker. But what's good though?
Everything's straight though. Everything's straight. Hold on a second, bro. Hold on a second. We got my guy YSM in the building. What's going on, bro?
What's good, y'all?
Ain't nothing, man. What's up with you? Hold on. Everybody wish YSM a happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday, man. Big shout out to the bro.
Happy birthday, bro. What's good?
Thanks, I appreciate that, y'all.
Hey, man, I told him Rolly Romero and Maurice Hooker was throwing a party for him. Those are his two favorite guys. Nah, it's a whole backstory between YSM and
Rolly's ever fighting on this card.
Hold on, Rolly's fighting on this card, ain't he?
Yeah, Rolly's fighting on this card.
I got a Rolly's interview coming y'all way, yo.
Hey, man, stop that, man.
Dead serious. I got my homie in San Antonio that's covering the fight. and he grabbed the interview of Rolly. I'm gonna drop that today, man.
Hey, bro. Hey, listen. I got a message, right? And they was like Fury was at a They said Fury was at a car dealership, right?
Yeah.
So they hit me up. Was like, yeah. They's like Fury's at a car dealership. He ain't got no COVID. I told the nigga, I said, yo, I said all the cars is vaccinated. Don't worry about it. I said all the Ferrari, the Bentley, all of those is vaccinated. Don't worry about it. Like everybody was safe. You know what I'm saying?
The truth is, he actually sent a picture as well of this dude in the party.
Yo, he's so blatant with it, yo. Like he is so blatant with it.
Bro,
Like,
the fact that Top Rank didn't even wish this dude a get well. That proves this guy don't have COVID, bro.
Yeah, a boxing first vlog. What do you call Fury?
That's Mr. Shenanigans, baby.
Yo, I said, man, I had to hijack that joint, man. But since we got all family up in here, you ready to matter of fact, let me get this last comment out the way, and then we just gonna make the announcement while we got the family on. Bruce Golds, he said, I'm riding with Castano. Wins over Derevianchenko. Spence should have Laura. Hold on.
Should have Laura. He should have beat Laura.
He should have beat Laura. Yeah. Castano gonna be a tough out, man. Like people just don't know. It's really gonna come down to, I'm like, can Castano take Charlo's money shot? If he can take Charlo's money shot, Charlo in for a long ass night. He in for a long ass night.
I'm going out on a limb. I told you, I'm going out on a limb. I'm going.
You going Castano?
I don't know what the judges will say, but in my eyes, in terms of like the general consensus, it will be a Castano win on point. That's my.
Hey, YSM, how you feel about that fight, good brother?
So the closer it gets, the more and more I'm like, yo, Castano can do this, and mainly because Mel isn't as disciplined as Maul. Like people like Mel because he fought, the fancy looking, like the flashy looking fights, the dudes that had a belt or the dudes that was coming off of a good win. But when we talk about skill for skill, Maul is a better fighter. Maul is very patient behind that jab, and Maul throws like really sharp shots where Mel can get sloppy. You get sloppy and try to slug it out with Castano, he gonna fold you like a pizza box.
Bro, you know why that's so funny? Because I don't think people understand. One, Mel loses a lot of rounds. He's not known for winning rounds. Castano's engine is on smoke, bro. This guy's throwing 80 to 90 punches every single round. He's coming for it. This guy don't take a step back. He's coming in the kitchen and he's eating everything in your fridge.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm gonna get my comment out the way because I'm gonna let Boxing First Vlog go because I know I pretty much know where he's gonna go with it. The thing is, if Jamel Charlo wins this fight, he's on my pound for pound, like definitely. I don't care what the criteria is. Like he's on my pound for pound, definitely. Like he's just like, I don't think people understand what Castano's bringing to the table. You know what I mean? Like they really don't understand it. So like the majority of the people that's like, oh, Charlo gonna win the fight, they're not saying anything negative about Castano. He's just really thinking like, oh, well, we don't know who Castano is, so we just gonna go with the known guy. But Boxing First Vlog, go.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Man, you guys, I hear what y'all saying. I tapped in, dropped a little video on a little preview video. But like I said in my video, bro, the man shell up soon as you hit him while he punching. There is about 5 fights that I watched. 3 full fights I watched of his, and the other 2 was clips. And even in the clips, he did the same thing that he was doing in the full fights that I watched. The person that didn't take advantage of it was Laura, because Laura was scared of the power. I'm telling you, the boy is not hitting like that, bro. The boy has overwhelming punch power. Like if I get you with 50 punches, one of them gonna hurt you. That type of power.
I agree with that.
Beg your pardon?
No, we agree.
I agree with that. I agree. I 100% agree.
Now, as I was saying, if you hit that dude in the middle of his flurries, he shells up. He does not shell up and move. He does not shell up and dip, roll his shoulders, bob his head. He just shells up. So he's open for an uppercut. He's open for a body shot off a pivot move. That is something that Mel Charlo does well. Now, y'all say he doesn't win rounds, but all you got to do is land one shot and it'll change the course of a whole round. Look at what happened with Devin Haney and the boy
Linares.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. Jorge Linares. He got that one shot off at the end of that round. If he would have got that shot off in the beginning of the round, middle of the round, that shot would have carried the round for him, regardless on what Haney did in that round, because it was such a powerful shot. He happened to land it at the end of the round. I don't know if people gave him that round or not. I personally did give it to him. You know what I'm saying? But just per se, those are the type of shots that Castano has to deal with. We've not seen him deal with that, bro. Y'all giving him a lot of credit for what he's offensively able to do. Where's this discredit for what we haven't seen from him defensively? You understand what I'm saying? I'm just pointing out a few things that why I'm leaning Mel. I'm not saying KO or anything like that, but I gotta go with the veteran. He got more experience. You talking about a dude that got 17 fights, bro. That's not a lot of experience, bro. I'm just saying. And you going for history.
This is why the fight's so intriguing. This is why the fight's so intriguing. Because everything Vlog just said, I 100% agree.
Yeah,
I agree. There's not one thing you said that I don't agree with. But this is the thing. My question is, what happens when Charlo lands that shot and Castano walks forward? Because I know for a fact, because Charlo ain't outworking Castano. So if you're trying to win a round, I'm just going by basic logic. The person who lands more punches wins the round 9 times out of 10. Unless, as Blunt said, you land a shot that gets the guy to retreat or turns the momentum. But what if he lands that shot and he walks forward? I always say I don't like the odds when someone's looking for a single. When you're looking for a single against a guy that's loading up and is used to throwing a high amount of punches per round, I don't like it. Jeff said that when he was talking about Chocolatito and Estrada. When he made his prediction, that's the same thing you said. When the dude's looking for a single and you got another guy who's looking for combinations, don't like that. That's not good odds. And I have to agree. I don't like when a dude is looking for a single.
And that's what makes it, let me add on to that real quick. That's what makes the fight, to me, it really makes it a 50-50 fight in my personal opinion, because BoxingFirst Vlog, everything that you said is accurate. Let me get that out of the way. There's a reason why Jermell is the favorite in the fight, okay? So I'm not going to sit up here and deny that at all. Here's the thing that concerns me about Charlo. The first thing, Charlo, he hasn't been forced to work 3 minutes of every round. That's number one. He kind of fights in pockets. Number two, he's going to have to be disciplined in this fight, because he can make this fight easier or he can make it harder. And Jermell tends to lose discipline in fights. He tends to lose discipline. I do think Jermell is very talented. He's physically talented. He's physically the more talented fighter. Like, let's get that out the way. He is physically very talented. This really comes down to discipline for Jermell, because he can make this fight easier than it has to be. He can make it easier than it has to be. So it comes down to discipline. If I had to pick two things for Jermell, discipline, and when he returns fire, he needs to return fire with 2 or 3 shots. He can't pot shot this dude and win rounds. He can't pot shot this dude and win rounds. He has to throw 2, 3, 4 shots in between those shots that you was talking about, Vlog. Those are 2 things that he's going to have to do.
And I see King Louis put something in the comment section. And one thing I would say in response to King Louis is, and this is the thing that I think people are missing, is efficiency. The truth is, you can say he can win off a jab alone, but that jab comes with movement. I've seen Castano walk fighters down, cut off the ring, get in the pocket, but more importantly, you have to be efficient. I've never seen Jermell Charlo win a fight solely off a jab. Never seen him. I've never seen him win a fight solely off a jab. So you're asking someone to do something that they've never done against the hardest fighter that he's ever fought in that style. When I mean in that style, I mean out of everybody he's fought, he's never fought anyone as active and as efficient and effective offensively as Castano. You can say he's fought technical fighters, but you're asking him to fight off the back foot and box a style where he's never done against someone who is so offensively aggressive. I just can't see that happening. I can't see that happening.
It makes it a really, really. If I'm Jamel, that jab and that stab jab distance is going to be so key for Jamel, because I'm like, Castano is going to get on the inside, but the one thing you can control is how a guy gets on the inside. You can control how he gets on the inside. You can make it on your terms. You can make him fight through a jab or make him fight through a stab jab to get to the inside. You know what I'm saying? Make him pivot left, make him pivot right. If you know he has to pivot to get on the inside, you can really set him up for shots. That's why discipline is so important for Jamel in this fight.
Josh Taylor, when he fought Jose Ramirez, you knew Josh wanted to go in the inside, but he just had to pay a lot of a big fee coming in every time he came in.
Yeah, a Boxing First Vlog. If give us some keys for Jamel to win the fight, bro.
First, jab, distance control, as you said. I echo that, but my thing is pivots, not necessarily foot placement, but when that man presses him, all you got to do is pivot. The boy sucks going right. Did a lot of homework, bro. I'm not putting my foot in my mouth with these words. He does not go right well at all. So that is perfect for a left hook, check left hook to the body off a pivot, even a check left hook to spin out and get out of danger. So these things he's going to have to incorporate into the arsenal to make the fight look easy and win it. Sort of like what Valdez did. Fight off the back foot, pivot at the right time, let the opponent run into some shots, and you run into power chasing people like Castano does. And Castano is a chaser on the front line, meaning he see you, he coming directly at you. He's not coming at you off an angle or anything. So all you got to do is be intelligent. Wait till this dude gets there, pivot off that left foot, or your left foot, and throw that left hook to the body. Throw that check left hook upstairs. Is going to be there because Castano is terrible going to the right.
Hey Jeff, can I interject real fast?
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
All the things that you said with the pivoting out and all that, are those abilities and skills that Mel possesses? Yes or no?
I was getting ready to ask that. I was getting ready to ask that, bro. Go ahead, vlog. Go ahead.
Yeah, bro. Yes.
When is he okay? Well, let me double up the question. What fight has he shown all that exact description that you gave? Can you give us a fight?
He did it against Harrison. That's how we got the uppercut.
But he was going forward.
He was going forward. Have you seen a fight where he's actually fought the way you just described?
Fighting off the back foot.
Everything you just said, fighting off the back foot, pivoting, throwing the check left hook, like.
But he hasn't had to do it because he hasn't have a volume puncher that to face him like this guy, like a guy that's just gonna come forward, let his hands go.
That's what makes the fight so interesting.
Hold up. Just because you made that point, listen to me, bro. Let me stop cutting me, bro. Just because we haven't seen him do it does not mean he can't do it, bro. That's two different things of saying, we haven't seen him do it. Doesn't mean he can't do it. We talking about
but then that goes against your argument though with Castano.
We talking about a dude that got the Ring Magazine belt. Obviously, you got all kinds of tools in your arsenal. So the few things that I pointed out that he could do for him to win this fight, it's very easily to implement in your arsenal, bro. It's not like you asking Castano to do it. Castano, a 17-fight veteran, if you want to call him that. These are things he probably couldn't add to his arsenal in a one-fight scenario. But you talking about Mel Charlo, this dude been boxing since he was like 4 years old, bro. I'm sure he can pivot and take advantage of dude not being able to move to the right there. It's that simple. Yeah.
Why is some go ahead and cook up, bro?
No, it goes against his argument because he's saying, I'm sure that Mel can, even though we haven't seen him against that style. But then when you turn around with Castano, he's like, oh, he hasn't shown. It's like it can't be one for one and not for the other. Like if we haven't seen it, then we got to say we haven't seen it. We can't pick and choose. Now,
Well,
I've never seen Mel display those skills. The skills that he's saying, that sounds like a bad motherfucker. And Mel's
the
good,
skills that
but
he's
that's
saying,
not.
that sounds like Mal versus Derevianchenko. That's what that sounds like to me. Maybe
I feel like
he's with Mel.
I
Because
feel like
Mel
he's
done that with
describing Maul.
Derevianchenko.
Yeah, that's Maul. You actually
That's
describing
Maul.
Maul. That's Maul.
Maul.
Pivoting and throwing that check left hook. That's Maul.
Hey, what we gonna do in this conversation is stop talking about that other twin because this not his time, bro. That's part of the issue, bro. We talking about one dude making history and y'all bringing up his brother, bro. His brother don't got nothing to do with this. Like that's why they have a bad vibe going on.
No,
because people like us. No, let me spit, bro. Because people like us do what we doing, it creates a wedge. When we talking about one fighter, let's talk about that fighter, bro. The Maul don't have nothing to do with this. Maul ain't about to make history. I
feel you. Listen real quick, bro. The technical stuff that you described, we're saying that sounds like you're describing Maul. We're not talking about Maul. Your actual technical description, that's what Maul does. Maul does all that shit. Not Mel. Maul does all that.
We're not going to agree. So this is where me and Jeff have changed the game. We don't disagree. If you're going to disagree, we don't just have these. This is where, in fact, let's go straight into the announcement. Now, this is where
let's get, all right. So listen, we gonna get into the announcement right now. Listen.
Instead of us debating, we just put our word behind it and we back it. Go ahead, Jeff.
All right, listen. So this is the announcement. G5JeffTV.com will be out tomorrow. I repeat, G5JeffTV.com will be out tomorrow. Main thing with it is hold on, Shane. Give him the details of it, bro. Go ahead.
So I can confidently say I go on many boxing websites. There is no boxing website that is covering as much angles as what we're doing. The first thing we do, obviously, like every other boxing website, we got news articles, we got like stories, exclusive content, like written print content, blogs. That's basically the basics. We also have our own G5 Guest TV rankings. That's from a heavyweight down, where fans, for the first time ever, can actually pick their own rankings on the site whilst they're on the site. So it's interactive. So we have our own rankings. You can pick your own rankings. Pound for pound, heavyweight, cruiserweight, light heavyweight, welterweight, whatever. You can pick your ranking yourself, interactive. Literally kind of like what Fight News do, but they don't allow you to pick it. You can actually pick your own ranking. We also have something that no one has ever done, where we have promotion rankings, where you can pick what promotional company has provided you with the most satisfaction for that month based on the facts that they brought out for that month. Literally, each promotional company will be scored based on interaction, matchmaking, stable, what's it called? And I can't remember the last one. And overall, like their overall promotion, like how they've been as a promotional company for that specific month. As a boxing fan or person who wants to interact with the sport, whether it's media or from a consumer perspective, you can decide who you feel has been the best promotional company for that month, for that specific month. There will be a leaderboard for that each month and scores. Now, the main thing of the channel, which nobody else is doing, and which is what leads us to the point, is we have our own fantasy league. So on this channel, you can we pick the fights for the month that we're going to do. You make your predictions for those fights. That's rounds, method of result, and who's going to win the fight. And obviously, if you get the score right, you get a certain amount of points. You're the top of the board. Obviously, if you win, you go to the top of the board. This is a fully interactive fight and a fully
Yeah.
interactive fantasy league. Basically, if me and Blunt are going at it, we'll be like, cool, let's go at it in the fantasy league. As me and Blunt have different opinions about Castano Charlo, let's go out and let's see who's gonna win this week. And it's literally a fantasy league for predictions. Go ahead,
And the main thing with the website and YSM, you can attest to this. It gets kind of tiring. You have to go through only YouTube to get your word out or to get your content out. Like, you have to go through YouTube. You might have a 1-minute clip that you just want to do, and that's it. The thing is, when we have back and forth and debates on fights and how fights is going to go, what the website is going to do is going to put you on record prior to the fight. So you can't lie after the fight and be like, you said this, you said that, you predicted this, you predicted that. If you whatever you put on the website, and if you had Castano winning by 6-round knockout and he gets iced in the 11th, do not come in alive that Monday talking that bullshit, because we gonna fact check you. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be completely interactive, and it's really trying to make that transition from being just a YouTube channel to being an actual media outlet and giving people one central place to actually go. Just do the content and basically. So it's kind of like on Facebook, like there's Facebook groups and things like that, and people just go to the Facebook groups and they'll talk their shit. On the website, you're gonna actually be able to actually make your predictions and things like that on fights going into the fight. And then with us having a leaderboard. So for instance, YSM, if you say Castano's going to win the fight on points, you get the win. If he gets it on points, then you get that too. So I'm like, you get double the points. You know what I'm saying? But if Shane says, all right, I think Castano's going to get, Jamel up out of there in the 9th round, and it happens that way, then you know what I'm saying, it keeps the dialogue going, and then that's going to lead to other things, and then whoever's the leaders on the message board, in the fantasy league and all that, is going to be prizes and all types of stuff. It's going to be fight tickets. We're going to give out fight tickets, gear, things like that. So we just going
I want Shane to buy. If I win, Shane got to buy my cheesesteak for a week.
That's fine. Shane got that.
Nobody's not beating. That's the difference.
Poppy Store Jones. I'm not even.
You need a Poppy.
I want Poppy Store Jones, man.
Get a Poppy steak, and we're cool with that. But it's going to be absolutely crazy. And the thing is, it's going to give an outlet for people like YSM, if you wanted to step into the writing realm, you can definitely do that. So except for hitting up Boxing Scene and all these other places, if you really just wanted to get your word out there as far as an article, you can literally get writer credits now off of a website, which is going to put you in a whole different space, because now you're not just YSM, the YouTube channel, or YSM, the social media movement. Now you're YSM, the writer. Well, you understand what I'm saying?
YSM, the publication.
He's the publication. He's the content creator. Like it adds so many different elements to your game. And then if you're not boxed into just one spot, you could literally.
That's what me and Jeff, when we come up with this idea, it's like, bro, we don't want to just be a YouTube channel. That's the
you're not boxed into one spot. Like, you could literally. This is my thinking on this. Like, I could literally go down to the gym right now. So except for having like a Patreon situation or something like that, I'd rather do an interview. I could go to the gym and get Cool Boy Steph and be like, you know what? This one's going to be exclusively for the website. We're not putting it on YouTube. We're not putting it on social media. Like, it's going to be exclusively for the website.
The website completely free. Like, there's no payment, no nothing. And
No,
I
it's
say
completely free.
company and with chess, there's no website that's like it. You can't go on Google right now and find me a boxing website where I'm gonna be able to predict fights in a fantasy league, make my own top 10 ranking, pick pick what promotional company is the best, and read news articles. You're not really gonna do that. So you're not gonna find that's what you're not gonna find.
Yeah. And it's just going to give a whole different. We can have a whole conversation in a whole different place. Like, we can go to YouTube, we can have a conversation. We can go to the website, we can have a conversation. We go to Facebook, have a conversation. We go to Twitter, we can have a conversation.
Speaking of Facebook, is YSM still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, he here. Go ahead.
Now I just saying that because I thought he was gonna bring up Facebook. That's why I thought.
But the thing is, though, even with Facebook, like, now you have several platforms where you can make, because I feel like YSM has so much content, he could specifically make content and make it exclusive for one platform for 48 hours. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just seen the interview you did that you dropped today with Martin. You could have made that exclusively for Facebook if you wanted to.
Yeah. For
like 48 hours. You could have made it exclusive for, YouTube for 48 hours. And that's kind of the idea when it comes down to, the website. It just gives a whole nother outlet. So now I can feature a YSM video on the website. Like, I can just feature it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Be like, you know what, YSM, I like this interview. Like, I don't feel like it's enough people's actually giving you enough credit for it. Let's just highlight it. Let's just highlight it on the website. So every time you pull up the website, your interview comes up somewhere on the front page. Or if Vlog does a video and I feel like it needs to be featured, we have another outlet for it. It's just YouTube gets you to a certain place, but then when you're trying to go to the next level, is people that's giving you roadblocks. Like, it's people giving you roadblocks. Like, people like, we can't get into fights because we, you know what I'm saying? Like, we got to go through this person, that person, and all that. It's a lot of roadblocks. So we at a point where we feel like we got to create our own lane as media people, and not have to. We watch you see, the Blue Bloods and all of that, and it's literally like they got to ride somebody's coattail just to, get to where they need to be. I'm like, and it's no knock against them. That's the path that they chose. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, we're much bigger than a situation where, like, who asked Fight Hype to take down the Chris Colbert video? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, when you independent, I mean, I wish they would have called me and asked me to take something like that down.
When you're working on YouTube, go
ahead, bro.
I said, that happens a lot. The fighter will ask you to take something down because they might have misspoke, or they don't like the message that was conveyed, or a fighter's management. That happens to me all the time, bro.
I can believe that.
That's crazy. I know that happens. I didn't know you were going through that specifically, though.
Bro, I can tell you on at least 5 different occasions, either the management or the fighter asks to have something taken down.
That's crazy. But you know what, bro? Like, you're the reason why I stopped doing interviews live.
Another thing, you know what? I'm going to say to YSM, because
go ahead, bro.
You always used to say, or you didn't always used to say, you said to me the other day, building relationships is more important than asking hard questions. Yeah. To this day, that statement just still kind of resonates in my head, because my intentions or my purpose all the time, whenever I went to a press conference, tried to be as much of a nuisance as possible. Tried to be
right.
Yeah, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not your friend, and you're not my friend. You don't care about me, and I don't care about you. So I'm not there to make you look good. I'm there to make me look good. And I just feel like sometimes the only way I can stand out is by just asking the most controversial questions to get as much controversial responses as possible. But the narrative or the ideology of building a relationship, and instead of being that that pest, for lack of a better word, it's something that I've never ever even decided to digest into my mind.
Yeah, it's and the thing is, boxing, like we're in a like I say this all the time. We're in a old let's keep it real. We're young people in a very old white people business. Like
Facts.
that's just what it is. Like the old school media is the old school. Let's just keep it real. White guy that wrote for a newspaper or a publication or a
Bro,
website, something like
what's so
that.
funny, yeah? When
Mm-hmm.
I go to media events, especially in like when I went to media events in the UK and stuff, you just see these big white guys in like suits and stuff, and
Yeah.
literally, bro, they're so outdated. Like they're still marking rounds with pen and paper. That's how outdated it is. Like,
Yeah, it's literally when I went to Lubin and Gallimore, when I went to that fight, it's literally, I mean, it looked like the whole media section looked like YSM. Remember the spots in Philly, they where the old people go that play bingo.
Yeah.
That's exactly how the media section looked, and it was like it was me. Yeah, yo, it was literally like it was just a bunch of like older dudes with like the old school looking suits and all that, and just they're all in the same section, and I'm just like, when I say I stuck out, like they was looking like, what publication you work for? I was like, I work for my own publication. It was like,
Yeah, that's
oh
unheard of. That's
yeah, they
unheard
was
of.
like, oh, they was like, that's cool. Like, what's the name of your publication? And then it was at least like 6 or 7 of them. They went into this story about, well, yeah, I was gonna start my own, but this company came at me with a couple of dollars, and I've been with them ever since. I had like 6, 7 people tell me that. Like, and it's crazy because YSM, what you said to Shane is so true, because Shane was it Seconds Out? You was working for that time? It was Seconds Out. And YSM, this is a true story. BoxingFirst Vlog, if you listen, true story, right? So Shane, he got invited to do cover a card for Seconds Out.
This was in the bubble as well, like
This
Frank
was
Warren's
in the
car.
bubble. In the bubble. So it was him and maybe 2 other publications that was invited. That was it.
Mhm.
And I told Shane, I said, you're not, I said, I'm glad you have the opportunity. Shane was even trying to get me content. I told him, I said, I don't want nothing. Like, you're working for Seconds Out. Go do your thing for Seconds Out. I said, but Shane, I'm gonna tell you this. I said, you're not gonna like it. I said, you're not gonna like it because I know you at the end of the day. Like, there's certain things that you're gonna want to do. And I'm like, you're not gonna do it because you're gonna be restricted. They're gonna tell you, well, you got to do this, you got to do that. I'm like, all them hardcore questions and that all that stuff we be talking about. I'm like, they not trying to hear that shit. They're not trying to hear it.
I give you a funny story, yeah. So obviously, my aim is obviously yards there and other fighters your yard card. So there's other fighters as well. But I want to speak to Frank Warren. So in my mind, I'm just thinking, I just want to speak to Frank Warren. Bro, they gave me a list of things that I can't ask Frank Warren. I said, I'd rather not do the interview then. Bro, I'm not asking some questions. Bro, they gave me a list of things I couldn't ask Frank Warren. Literally a list of things I couldn't ask Frank Warren. Bro, I just found that experience so horrible. It was one of the worst experiences I've ever had in my life.
One thing I've always liked about Eddie is that everything's on the table. And I respect that. I respect that. Eddie, you'll ask him something the hell out of you, but he'll still answer your question.
Yeah, I believe that.
But what Jeff may not understand, and I probably never told him this, is that I started writing before I ever did anything. I wrote for Into Boxing. And
You told me. You told me.
Yeah.
You told me. That was a British company. It wasn't a British company.
Yeah, my background is in journalism. It's not necessarily in like interviewing video. I kind of transitioned into that because at the time their YouTube sucked. And I'm like, well, you know, somebody has to do something with this. It's just sitting there. And that's how I kind of transitioned. And, you know, when I created my channel and then I created my website, I don't get a chance to do too much writing, even though I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. One thing I would say is, and this is just me, like from my outward observation, when it comes to public, like I don't know how it is in America, but when it comes to accreditations, especially in the UK, because I'm 22, but I've been to so much fights in the UK, literally so much fights in the short time I've been doing it, purely and simply because I just applied as writing accreditation, like a print, instead of like YouTube or something. And what I realized is a guy told me we allocate a certain amount for YouTube and YouTube media and certain for print press.
That's true.
And what they said was, it's so saturated in YouTube media that there's not much people that apply for print press. I swear to God, I've been to like so many shows because of that simple reason. And I don't know how it's in America. Maybe it's different, but in the UK, that's how it was for me. That's how I've been to so much fight.
Hey, listen, YSM. I got a current story that I went through actually yesterday. So you know the fight on the 23rd at the 2300, right?
Mm-hmm.
With Nahir Albright and all them. So
great card.
Yeah, great card. RDR puts out a post saying if you want accreditations, contact Mark Abrams.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know Mark Abrams, you know, in Philly, whatever. So I email him. So I give him basically everything that I have going on, sample videos, stuff like that. You know, standard email when you try and get accreditation. You want to know what this guy asked me, yo?
What?
He emails me back. I gave him everything you could possibly ask for. He says, so what are your plans for fight night? I'm like, what?
Wait,
like
what?
I said, what? I'm like, what are my plans for fight? I didn't even know how to respond to that. I said, it took me a minute. I said, I'm gonna try to interview as many fighters as possible, you know, take pictures, try to, you know, capture the event, you know, in its entirety, and, you know, just drop it on all platforms. He responds and he says, well, you can't film any of the fight. I said, bro, I've been to Top Rank events. I've been to PBC events. I said, I know how to conduct myself in a media setting.
Did you go to Matchroom as well? What was that Matchroom called?
Yeah, the Devin Haney joint. So I'm like, I've been to one of each major promotional company. So so I send that. So you know when you apply for accreditations, it's a simple yes or no, right?
Yeah.
A simple yes or no. He literally was like, "Can you make it to the press conference for Friday's fight?" So that's supposed to be a Wednesday. He says, "I'll make a deal with you." He said, "If you can get some coverage of the press conference, I'll give you a credit. I'll give you a media accreditation for the 23rd."
I've never seen that in my life. I've never seen that in my life.
Hey, Shane, can you do me a favor? Can you take the back seat for 1 second? Okay.
Go ahead.
So now the Phillies got to come out of me. All right. So check this out, right?
Right.
First off, what we're not going to do is I'm not going to go to. Can I curse?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that cool?
Go ahead.
All right. I'm not going to go to another fucking YouTuber for accreditation to an event. Mark Abrams is just like us. So why the fuck am I going to you in the first place? That's one. Secondly, it is a simple yes or no. And I've covered events way bigger than this, like way bigger than this. So, like you saying I'm going to make you a deal, like, bro, you should be happy that I am looking to cover your event. Like I have a following that I built my own self, right? You should be happy that that media wants to cover your event, because let's be honest, you're small potatoes. And why the fuck do I gotta make you a dick? Like, come on, man, that's some unprofessional shit.
Bro,
I'm sorry.
I literally did not respond. Like, he literally asked me to get coverage for him at a press conference, and then he'll give me an accreditation. I said, and I'm like, and Shane, the one thing about Philly is when we feel like we're disrespected, yo, like we can be extremely petty. Like I can be extremely petty if I feel like I'm being disrespected. Like, and it's not even, it's just, it's unnecessary. Like, like why some said it's a simple yes or no. Like, and it was just like, well, what are your plans for fight night? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? What are my plans for fight night? Like, I'm like, then he said he could get me interviews during the press conference. He said he can get me interviews. I'm like, bro, like I'll talk to, I would say 60% of everybody, over half of the people that's on this card, just for the 23rd. Just for the 23rd, bro. I'm like, I'm in communication with Nahir Albright. With I'm in communication with all them dudes. Like, I mean, I don't need an alley-oop to go interview a Philly fighter or somebody that's on a Philly card. I don't need an alley-oop for that.
The truth is, I was thinking, like, what is this guy's intentions? Like, to me, I'm just thinking it's a yes or no answer.
It's really a yes or no. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I was just like, why is some? So here's what I'm going to do, right? Because I didn't respond to him. Like, I'm gonna get into the event through Mushin's opponent,
Okay,
Tristan James. So I'm gonna be in the building regardless. Like, I'm gonna be in there regardless. Like, and I'm gonna see Mark Abrams there. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be there. So me being who I am, if I feel like I got an issue with you, or if I gotta get something off my chest, like when I see you, like we gonna have a conversation. Like that's just really shit. Like we gonna have a conversation.
Is YSM at the event? YSM, are you there?
All right, so I'm actually going in a different capacity. I is the fighter that I consult for, and that's fighting on the 24th. He's making his debut. So I will be there, but in that matter, not necessarily media. 23rd, I'll probably be covered the fight.
Yeah, like that's the thing.
Friday.
Yeah, so he has a card on Friday and a card on Saturday at the same place, same promoter. Like, yeah, so like, so I'm like, so I'm gonna be in the building. So the thing he don't realize is that, see, now he's gonna have to explain to me, like in person, like what's your actual process to giving out a media accreditation. Yeah. Like he's gonna have to answer that in front of me.
What media is gonna be there? What media itself is gonna?
Bro, this is why RDR Promotions hasn't gone to the next level, because he hasn't taken care of this. I'm like, yo, it's a 50. When you're a small promoter, it's a 50-50 proposition. I'm like, us media people, we need something to cover. In order for him to go to the next level, he needs media coverage. Yes. It's a 50-50 proposition. So I'm like, why do I have to if I gave you everything I'm bringing to the table, why are you asking me what am I gonna do on fight night? And why are you telling me I can't film the fight? Like, I didn't get these numbers for no reason. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand.
One subscriber, even if you had one subscriber, it wouldn't make a difference. Because
who doesn't know, Shane? Who doesn't know that you can't film the fight?
Exactly, that's my
Who
point.
doesn't know that?
If you have one subscriber, it doesn't make a difference. Like you still know. If you have no YouTube channel, no nothing, you still know.
Yeah, so he's gonna have to see me on 23rd. Like, because I've never seen that process before in my life. And this is the thing. A YSL.
Is if there's empty seats, bro, you should go around and film the fact that he didn't sell it out.
Yo, and the thing is, yo, like I don't. It's crazy, bro. Like I didn't understand the line of questioning. I just really didn't. So you know what I did, YSM, just to see if this is something he consistently does or not. Joey is going to be at the fight. Joey Ron. So he sent the email for accreditations, right? So I called him. I said, yo, I said when he emails me, when he email you back, just let me know if he gave you a yes or no answer, or if he gave you a whole nother line of questions. If he gives another media person the same line of questions, then he off the hook.
Who's Joey? Joey what?
Joey Haran. Joey is he's a guy that he covers boxing as well, so he gets a lot of interviews, things like that. He's in the same realm we're in. You know what I'm saying? He covers a lot of Philly fighters and all of that. So big shout out to him. Huh?
Kind of like YSM.
Yeah, but not on the same scale. He's a little different, but it's the same idea. But he's emailing for accreditation as well. So I'm gonna see if he's gonna give him the same rap. If he gives him the same rap, then I'm gonna be like, okay, fine. Maybe that's just the process you're going through. But if he gives him a yes or no answer, or he tells him he's gonna give him an accreditation without going to the press conference on Wednesday, yeah, me and him gonna have a conversation like face to face. We're gonna have a conversation. Because the thing is with RDR Promotions, like he didn't have anybody to go to for accreditations. He was trying to handle it himself, and he just wasn't handling it. YSM, you can speak on that. You know what I'm saying? That was a not fair fight. That was a not fair fight. We both was there, and they was like, "Nah, we don't know who y'all are." Like, you know what I'm saying? So
that turned me off. Like,
yeah, that turned me completely off. And the thing that made it worse is I seen RDR at the weigh-in the day before. He literally told me to my face that I was on the list. With Chris sitting there, with Not Fair Dad standing there. It was us three standing there after the weigh-in. And he said, nah. He said, your name's on the list. He literally told me that.
Yeah, so once, like, I ain't got time to be playing around.
I really don't.
So, like, you out there. I'm sorry about that. My youngster.
No, you good. Go ahead.
But, yeah, as far as I go, like, either we're conducting business or we're not. Your word is your bond. So if you're saying I'm on it, then I should.
Yeah,
if not, I can. If not, I can go to a gym. I can cover a fight from my house. Like, I don't gotta waste the gas on my time.
Absolutely, and that's the thing.
You just made me mad, yo. You just made me mad,
bro. You know what's so crazy, Jeff?
You
could go live with me for Joe Joyce's fight and
get more views, and we'll get more views. Like, and that's the thing. Like, I was just like, and YSM, this is not the first time I've had a situation with Mark Abrams.
Yeah.
Mark Abrams reached out to me about a year ago, right? Somebody put him on to an interview that I did, and he reached out to me via email And so we had Shane knowing this. He I ain't lying. He reached out to me. There was a card. There was a Philly card. He literally emailed me, asked me to travel somewhere and interview all these fighters a week before the fight.
Mhm.
No, nothing else was discussed. No, nothing like, hey, you mind interviewing all the fighters for this card and blah, 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 blah. And this is before StreamYard. This is when I was doing phone interviews and I was just spicing them up.
Okay.
And I'm like, bro, like, I don't know you. And I'm like, you're asking me to do all of this running around for your card and nothing else is being discussed. I'm supposed to take time out of my day to interview every single person on this card. You haven't said, all right, I'm going to get you accreditations. I'm going to get you X amount of tickets. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that in exchange for you. Like, that's a proper way to do business. Like, you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not a fan. Like, oh, shit. RDR hit me up. Like, oh, Mark Abrams hit me up. I'm covering everything. Like, no, it don't work like that.
It's not like Top Rank call you.
It's not like, yeah, like
Wilder Fury 8 undercard.
Listen, like if Uncle Al called, that's something different. You know what I'm saying? I'm in there. Like, you know what I mean? It's an investment. But I'm like, for something like this, I'm like, you shouldn't be asking people, well, hey, if you do this, then I'll give it to you. Like, no, I'm not even doing that. So I was just like, I said, I'm gonna get in the building through Tristan James. I'll just tell him to get an extra pass because whoever's fighting get a certain amount of passes. They get a certain amount of passes. So I'm just gonna tell him to get I'm just gonna tell him to get an extra pass. So I'm gonna get in that way, and then he gonna have to see me. And we're gonna have to have a discussion. Because I'm gonna need to know for future reference. Because I'm like, if that's the method you're gonna go with, and that's the method you're gonna go with, then I'm not gonna apply for no accreditations. I'll just know from the gate. Period. Like, you know what I'm saying? I won't even waste my time. So I'd rather find out from him face to face if that's what he does to every single person that asks for an accreditation.
Hey, Fob.
Yo,
I'm about to go, right? But
right.
I wanna finish that conversation off camera.
I don't have a problem with that. I don't have because I'm off tonight. I'm off tonight.
Shane, I need to holler at you too.
Yeah, do that. I thought Jeff was jumping off right now anyways. What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for having me, y'all. I appreciate it. I get y'all later tonight.
Hey, YSM.
Yeah.
Hey, YSM, my phone charging, so it's going to take about maybe about 45 minutes for that thing to load up. So what is about 8 o'clock now? So like anytime after 9.
All right, bet.
All right.
All
right, bro. Let me get YSM back. I'm BoxingFirst Vlog and head. Hey, Vlog.
What's up?
Yeah, you sound a lot better. Your background, I know you was on the road. Well, let me get in these comments real quick before we roll up out of here. Swaro in the building. Swaro, what's going on with you? Hold on. King Louis said Jamel going to whip him with the jab. Simple.
That's what I was addressing before.
You think so?
That's
gonna be the outlet for him to win the fight. That jab, we keep that jab pumping. I think he'll be straight. Vlog, what you think?
It's key. It's definitely key. That's for my reasons for him to win. The jab.
He's not gonna win the fight. He's not gonna win the fight without a jab.
No doubt. No,
he's getting beat. Nathan Carey is in the building. He said Charlo will lose. He lost to that bum Tony Harrison. Wow. He got a couple belts though, Nathan. Hold on.
I mean, I don't think the belt defining. If I look at his career, the one fight that I look at, and I think that was a real defining fight, was the Lubin fight. I think that was a real good fight in Jamel. The Lubin fight was dope. But if he beats Castano, I feel like he deserved all the respect. I wasn't really impressed with the Rosario fight because I didn't rate Rosario that highly before.
Yeah.
And Harrison, because he lost the first fight, I wasn't overly impressed with him in the second fight. He won it, give him credit, well done. But it was kind of the same with 8. You know how I am with rematches, bro. So
yeah. I'm gonna run through these little comments real quick. Nathan said Charlo was always crying. He also said Castano will win easily. Hold on. He barely beat Harrison, the journeyman. Wow. Hold on. Get real, guys. Charlo is nothing special. Hold on. I'm gonna let BoxingFirst Vlog cook. Go ahead, bro.
I mean, that just sounds like fanboy talk, bro. That don't sound like even a casual, like you are a fresh casual. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not analyzing the actual fight, bro. You just talking from a fan's perspective.
Hold on. Did you call him a fresh casual?
Yeah, like he's talking like he's not even watched Charlo fight before. Ring Magazine don't give out belts to people that don't know how to box, bro. I'm just saying. I'm talking casual, bro. We talking boxing. It takes what it takes to win, what it takes to lose. We ain't talking whether we dislike or like these fighters. You're talking like you truly got something personal against the dude Charlo. I personally, he lost brownie points with me because of a lot of the outside the ring stuff, but that's not saying I'm taking him off my pound for pound list. That's just ridiculous because he's a smart mouth dude outside the ring. That has nothing to do with boxing, bro. So the comments that you're reading from that particular gentleman sound like just fangirl conversation. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. You know, you guys can like who you want to like. And I'm not telling you that, bro. But when you in here talking with us, we talk boxing for a reason, bro, because there's angles about this sport, bro. You know what I'm saying? So you can't just come at it like, oh, I like that dude. I don't like that dude. What the fuck does it have to do with whether they can fight or not?
Yeah, I would say I agree with everything. The only thing I would say is when you do a Ring Magazine, I've seen Ring Magazine. I feel like Charlo's a dope fighter, but I feel Ring Magazine have given belts to some questionable fighters. I won't lie to you, but I agree with you on everything else.
Can I use the fresh casual thing? That's dope. I need to. Can I use that? That's funny as hell. He called him a fresh casual. Yo, BoxingFirst Vlog be saying the wildest shit, yo. Hey Shane, listen. Like, I be talking to Vlog off camera, right? He'll say some shit on the phone, yo. And that shit, I'll be in a room by myself. Like an hour later, I'll be thinking about something this dude done said, and I'll just start busting out laughing, yo. Like he say the wildest shit, yo. Like how does he he called him a fresh casual, like yo, it's crazy, man. But tomorrow is gonna be all Jermel Castano. We doing breakdown, predictions, all of that, and then we're actually going to show the website. Yeah. We're going to show the website on the live.
Make your prediction on the day. I already got guys rate, like I got like 4 or 5 guys because, bro, everybody I've been talking to, Charles gonna win it. So right now, I'll come out on the win and I've said Castano's gonna win it. I think I'm the only one who come out and said it. I'm saying it with confidence.
So
I think Castano's gonna win. Yeah. I know Vlog think Charlo's gonna win. We're gonna have to go back and forth on that. If he beats me, then he beats me. That's cool. I eat that. But
and we can all make our predictions on the website. We can make our predictions on the website. So basically, the fantasy league, the G5 Jeff TV fantasy league starts Saturday. It starts this Saturday. You can put your name down, put down who you think gonna win the fight, how they gonna win the fight. If you think it's gonna be a knockout or a stoppage, you can pick the round. You can pick the round. So we taking it to the next level. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Really taking it to the next level and adding a different, outlet except for just YouTube. Like we can do stuff exclusively for the site. We can do stuff exclusively for social media. We can do stuff exclusively for YouTube.
You didn't, again, I have to speak to this off camera, but Blunt, I was trying to hit you up on some stuff. Like, I was trying to help you on some stuff, but I don't know if you just passed on the message.
Yeah, man, as you can see, bro, I got a new background and shit, bro. My little homie.
That background dope.
Yeah.
I was talking about some other things. Like,
Yeah. I know. I'm gonna get at you. Shit, tomorrow, right after the live. We can sit down and talk right after the live. What time y'all going live, bro? So I can know when to grab my phone and do it.
When you get off work?
Man, I'm off tomorrow now. Whatever time it is now, this is when I'm supposed to be off. But you know what I mean? I put in a straight 8 or 9.
I'm probably gonna go on. What we went on by like 10 o'clock your time, Shane? We went on about 10:30.
10:30.
So I went on.
10:30.
I went on when you asked for the link. I think I was on for like an hour vlog.
All right, so yeah, so y'all do about an hour, and I'll get in about 4 tomorrow.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. But listen, we're gonna close it out there. Vlog, get on your social media and all that.
Man, BoxingFirst Vlog on Twitter, Instagram, obviously YouTube. But I'm gonna be working heavy on the website, bro, because I've been getting a lot of flack for the work I do, the copyright thing, and all the hate, bro. So I'm probably gonna slide over and just be on the website. So everybody that rock with me, man, I'm gonna be over there putting up all my work, man, and I'm gonna take a stab into this writing aspect and see what the pen work do. You feel me? So I'm gonna get all that info from you to see what it do, because I need to talk to you about all this hate that is going on the social media platform, bro. They took down every clip I put up on IG. Man,
that's why I'm gonna hit you up on something. I'm gonna hit you up on something as well. That's the thing. I'm gonna think to Jeff. There's 3 things I wanted to like talk to you about as well, in terms of like your remodeling yourself to push you off into it. Because I know you always use money to support yourself. Most of the time I'm busy and so I'm literally dead. That's why you got a young dude in the team, man. Someone a bit more tech savvy and stuff.
Yeah, trust me. I need, like, I ain't gonna lie. When I first started, I ain't know which way to hold the camera, hold the phone to record. I ain't know if you hold it horizontal or vertical.
Yeah.
Like, for real, like, yeah, like it's crazy, man. But for the people that want to subscribe to Vlog's channel, I'm not even gonna say the people that want to subscribe. Like, if you subscribe to me, like, you have to subscribe to him because it's mandatory. You know what I'm saying? His link is right there. Shane, give him your social media, bro.
I'm Shane, the #1. Literally, I'm about to, that's basically the platform I work on Instagram. But this summer, I guarantee once this website's loaded, I'm going back to it. Like, if you guys were following me in 2019 before COVID, ask Jeff. I was literally at fights like once a month. Like, I was going fights so regularly, getting accreditations in England often. I'm going back to that. Now we're coming out of lockdown on Monday. England's coming out of lockdown on Monday. So I'm going back.
Absolutely. And you know, G5 Jeff TV all over the place. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And that's G5JeffTV.com. In affiliation with VP Shane, BoxingFirst Vlog. You know what I'm saying? My boy D Hodges is in the building. Big shout out to D Hodges. But we're going to a whole nother stratosphere, you know, when it come down to the movement. So we're not gonna let copyrights and things.
None of that. Own platform. Platform.
We're not gonna allow no, you know, copyrights and all of that getting away.
I've been on copyright strike for 90 days where his content, like, bro, we're done with asking for people to give us handouts, like hoping that a video doesn't get taken, and we're done with that. So
yeah, we're absolutely done with that. And then on top of that, I'm not asking anybody else for no YouTube accreditations. because obviously they're showing a biasness towards that. So we're gonna get in these doors through the writing aspect
Through
and things like
everything.
that,
The
through everything.
media content is everything.
Yeah, because I'm
Social
like,
media, YouTube, website, and you know what we got coming after that. That's
yeah,
why I need to speak to you because you got an idea, bro.
we
That's gonna
gotta,
make what you need to. That's what we
yeah,
need to do, bro.
we got an idea that incorporates with your idea that you gave us a couple of months ago that I think is gonna get real. It's gonna
Spicy.
get real spicy, real crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? But we can talk off camera when it comes down to that. But it's just some things that's happened. Like, we're not trying to go through people to get accreditations as a quote unquote YouTube channel anymore. Because as you can see, I'm having a hard time getting an accreditation to a show in my own goddamn city. Like, I got to do a favor for a favor. Like, it's crazy. Like, I'm like, that's absolutely crazy. So I'm like,
By the way, that's a dope background. Very dope background. Dope
that
background.
background is fire.
But you need to get a new camera. But that's dope background.
Hey man, don't be clowning and shit, man. I'm an old
Nah,
nigga.
that's part of.
I ain't
Listen,
got a
that's
baby.
part of what we. That's part of what we. That's part of what we gonna discuss. We all gotta level up
Yeah,
on all levels.
by Putin or something.
Yeah, we gonna level up on all levels, man. But listen, man, we're not gonna hold you anymore, man. On behalf of Boxing First Vlog, VP Shane and your boy G5 Jeff TV, we are out.